All right, everybody. We're not even going to start with an intro video because we are running so late tonight, and it's all my fault. I hate to say it. Comic Art Live Revenge gets me again. But yep, we've got a interesting show, and more interesting now because I had forgotten to do a couple things, and I've got got Bob and Joey in the green room. We're going to be talking with them to get everything started. This is their last week, in fact, for a while. But the cool thing is that Bob and Joey were at Japan Comic Art Expo. I don't know if they got to meet Yoshi because I know he's the guy who runs that thing, but they were there last weekend and had a pretty interesting time while they were at the show. They met several, no collectors, but several artists that I think many of you are very familiar with, and you're going to see in the video clip here. So instead of a drink and draw excerpt, which I will have at a later date, I do have the Tokyo. I'm sorry, where in the world is Bill Cox? Yeah, exactly. I know that's what happens when I'm late. I'm sorry. But we have a video clip from the Japan Comic Art Expo. And of course, it is not your usual Bob Layton video. It is a WTF video with Mr. Layton, and Joey makes an appearance as well. So here, let's take a look at this. Now, just so you know, this isn't the full video because the full video is about 15 minutes long. We can only load 10-minute videos into the platform here. So this is like 2 days worth of his time there, and there's really a couple more after this. But this is what Bob experienced at the show. Let me show you.
So, the first video for Where in the World Bob Layton, I'm here with Takiwata, my dear friend. Yes, there he is. Now, I'm going to ask these guys. Hey, come back.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm doing a video here. Okay?
Hey.
So, you asked Tak, right,
Yes.
to take a picture of you and me together. And he is like 10 times more famous than I am.
I realize now. My mistake. I'm a fool.
So, what you know Tak from what?
Well, you told me Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me more.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Okay.
Yeah, and you also designed some of the most famous sake bottles here, too, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
You did sake bottle art. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, but here's the thing. Tak's sitting here. Tak's hanging out with me, right? And these guys are like, they're asking, hey, could you take a picture of us with him? And I'm like, you guys are going to regret this later, man. Yeah. Oh, no. It's on my podcast. So nobody will see it.
I'll watch it. I'll look for it.
So this is Shingu. He was here at my signing at Verse Comics over 5 years ago. He brought me a Japanese lantern with my name on it or whatever, and now he's a big Bloodshot fan, so he has all this stuff. But he showed up again just to see me, and it's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. All right, so there you go. So, guys, here we are. We're at the Japan Comic Art Expo. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon here, and we've got a little bit of a lull before I start signing again. But I'm going to walk around a little bit and show you what's going on. There's other floors of stuff going on as well, but this is the main, like, kind of artist room or whatever. So there's Joey and Cleo over there, and the cats from the Philippines. Well, hey guys, on the last show, I have a couple of guest stars here, and one of them is Kevin McGuire. Oh, hi. And we determined that we haven't seen each other in almost 30 years.
I don't know if we determined it, but you know.
So I gotta ask you, you're like so famous for doing the covers where all the characters are staring up into space, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, what the fuck are they looking at?
They're looking at you.
No. Seriously.
They're looking at you.
What are they looking at?
You're holding the cover.
Because
If you're holding the cover, those are you.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. It's a window into your soul, Bob.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt so empty.
Yeah, well, you might want to see a therapist about that.
Thank you, brother. So I'm sitting here with one of my personal favorite artists, and I'll let you guys take a real wild guess of who it is. Here, I'm sure by now most of you who are serious comic art collectors have figured out that I'm with the one and only Mike McCone. How you doing, brother? Yeah,
I'm good. How are you?
All right, let me flip this camera around a little bit. All right, so I messed up the last segment. I'm here with Mike McCone, man. And it's like, he asked me if what OAX was like, was it worth coming to? And you guys seen his work. You know the quality of stuff he does. And I told him all about it. What did I say?
You said it was fantastic.
It was. I mean, especially if you're an aficionado of comic book art or whatever, it is absolutely the best venue you could ever go to. No cosplay, no other hijinks. It's strictly guys who are serious about art,
Pencil
right?
pushers.
Yeah, pencil pusher. But it's a lot of fun, too, okay? A lot of fun. And it's in Orlando, Florida, which is where all the attractions and stuff are.
January.
Yeah, so, in January. So what's still not to like? So anyway, guys, he's on social media. You know how to get a hold of him. Invite him to the show, okay? Thanks, Mike. Great to see you, brother. And okay, now I'm here with Chad Harden. How about that? Okay, guys.
We're doing it now.
Yeah, we're doing it right now, man.
Okay.
No, because there's no rehearsing.
All right.
And one of my question to you is: the last time I saw you, you were asleep. Last time I saw him.
Do we want to talk about it?
I think we do. Yeah. Actually, no. The last time I saw him, he was sound asleep.
At the Birds of Prey premiere
Yes.
in London.
How long did you last? Did you get through the first 10 minutes?
Oh, Bob.
Yeah, I look over and Chad is just sawing logs over there, man. He was
man,
out
that's
cold. I know, but that's the whole point of the show being funny, is a little embarrassing moments. But it was great. No, we love the movie. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. You know?
Yeah.
But the royalty
And they
checks
paid
were
us
good.
so much.
No, but the royalty checks were actually pretty good on that.
The what?
Yeah, the royalty
Well,
checks.
the comic sales. It didn't do
Yeah, no, but I got money for the hundreds from the movie.
You did?
Yeah, since the only movie that came out during COVID, besides Bloodshot, which I also created, I wound up doing pretty good with both of those crappy movies.
They didn't give me shit, Bob.
Well, that's different. I got a different deal with the Hunters. Okay, I was one of the. Let's not talk legal stuff now. I spoil the moment. Chad, I love you, brother. Go back to sleep. Okay?
No.
No.
Let's talk about more stuff. What have you been doing in Japan?
I'm not in Japan. I live in Korea.
Okay, we're done with the first day of the show, right?
Done with the first day.
Yeah, okay, and what we're doing now is we're having real sushi. Look at this. Oh, that's fantastic. We're gonna dig in. No, okay, nothing gonna make Bill sick though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A fish that looks exactly like grass.
A fish that looks like grass. Okay, wonderful. So here we go. Where in the world is Bob Lincoln, right? So actually, I'm with Alex Sinclair. How you doing, brother?
What's up?
We just actually met for the first time here at the show.
Yes, we did.
We have a mutual admiration society. Let me ask you something really, really important.
Sure.
Because we had this conversation yesterday. Why is it that most colors don't understand what value is? I mean, it's like you and I had this conversation. I get it. You get it. But, it's like if you're in the coloring business, values are everything, right?
Correct. I mean, it's a lot easier to teach it at the grayscale or black and white level because you're only dealing with one set of values. But when you introduce color, then that scale becomes broader and more amplified. And
Exactly.
so you're dealing with colors that overpower the other ones. You're dealing with temperatures that also can become value dependent, and so it's a hard concept to teach colorists.
Yeah,
about
I know.
value, and so
it drives me crazy. But I really appreciate you sympathizing with me yesterday, brother.
I'm telling you, it's the one thing. It's like I teach courses, and it's always values. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's where we leave some of these folks behind.
I have this 3+3 thing that I always do in my master class, which is I said there's 3 values and 3 planes. And when you're doing black and white illustration, you have to stay in gray, black and white, foreground, middle ground, background. And
Correct.
you cannot mix those values with those planes. And then, color, you get, like you said, it's heat. Transparent, translucent, and,
Yep.
Right. So it makes me crazy. Okay, but now we went 2 minutes. Anyway, listen, it was an honor meeting you, man.
No, it's my honor,
All
man.
right, thank you. Joey, where are we now?
We're in Mandarake. In Tokyo, so we're looking at old toys and stuff. So
Yeah.
Muscle Man.
Muscle Man, yeah.
Muscle Man.
Yeah, the cool part is we found Hot Wheels over here, old vintage Hot Wheels. That was like fun. But there's 8 floors of this store, and it's nothing but vintage toys. It's crazy, man.
Cards.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for antique ray guns for Jason's collection, so we'll just keep. We're only on floor 7, so we're gonna go work our way down. So Tack is trying to pick out our dinner, right? And it's like they brought out all this fish here,
Yeah.
and we get to pick them while they're still
Named
breathing.
Charlie,
I guess.
huh?
All named Charlie. Yes. Every one of them is named Charlie the tuna. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's deciding how they want them prepared or whatever. So we're all just sitting here in anticipation of that. Oh boy, look at that. So Cleo, where can I ask you, where in the world is Bob Layton? Where in the world is Bob Layton? Where?
You know, the answer, like, I always know where you are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You always know where I'm at. That's the perfect answer.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah, I guess it qualifies as a WTF. You know,
I thought it was. You know, you got your interviews in.
There's still so much footage missing, Bill.
Well, I can only show 10-minute clips in the studio, so I actually have the 15-minute version that I will post as the final. But I do have the drink and draw video all pulled together now too, Bob. While that one was playing, I did it.
Look,
I made it.
Hey, listen. Like I said in the green room, I quit. I've had enough of you, Bill. This is my last show. I am done. I'm done. Joey, you want to walk out with me? You want to quit?
Well, first I want one of those cool shirts that Bill's wearing.
Oh, that's
This
true.
is one of a kind.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Shirts,
damn.
man.
I saw it in the greeter. I was like, that's a cool
It
shirt.
is in our public
We're always
store.
doing for him. He does nothing for us. Come on, man.
Oh, man. I texted Kazro after I screwed everything up saying, I need a handler. I need.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was after 10 o'clock. I'm waiting for my link because this is the last where the world is
it's all my fault. It's all my fault. We're here. We made it. We made it here. And I do have the drink and draw. But tell me a little bit about Japan Comic Art Expo and your time away.
Joey?
Well, it was a really busy weekend. We went there and so we set up the booth, and yeah, there were a lot of cool people there and had a good time. It was fun when Tat came because Yoshi didn't realize who Bob was talking about that was coming, and then when he showed up, he's like, "This is Wada? This guy? You know who this is?" Like, yeah, I do know who that is.
Crapped himself. I mean, let's be honest. He about crapped himself right there when he found out who my buddy was.
Like, you know how famous that guy is?
Because like I said, even though I'm popular in the comic realm, Tack is like a god there in Japan, man. I mean, he's like serious OG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. Yoshi's reaction was hilarious, to say the least. But hey, listen, it was so much fun being with Joey and Cleo. A couple of things that happened that were really fantastic. Besides getting to meet Alex and Claire and Ryan Benjamin, guys I have not met before, and spending time with them and talking. One, I had a great hotel. I got a deal on this flight. I was at the Clinton. It's a boutique hotel, and they're dog friendly, so the place had all kinds of dogs and stuff. But it was a great hotel, wasn't it, Joey? It was a great hotel.
From the top of the building or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
we went up for cocktails
Tokyo.
We went up for cocktails and appetizers at the top of the rooftop there and had a spectacular view of Tokyo from there, which didn't make it to the show either. But
there's just so much stuff going on over the weekend.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I am right now. Actually, Joey knows I'm suffering from mild exhaustion. I mean, I have done nothing. I took a red eye back yesterday. I got in yesterday morning, and I did nothing but sleep the entire day. You know, pretty much with the exception of getting up to do my business and eat something.
I went back to work, but I just kind of stumbled around.
Yeah, the drink and draw last night. Yeah. We had a theme of doing adult characters as children, not like sidekicks, but like if Batman, you do baby Batman, or he would do baby Hamburger Hulk, or whatever. But the one of the beautiful things and made Cleo so happy is that we took the drink and draw drawings there to sell, and we sold enough of those along with the signing fees that I got for signing. We got enough to actually reach our charity goal. So Cleo can now order fans and air conditioning units or whatever for all the elderly people that we were working for. So she got very emotional about that. She was so happy that we reached that that biannual goal there, and we can now actually purchase these things for people.
Yeah, we sold a few, and now that we're done with the Japan thing, I'll have some more time, maybe this week or next week, to get back to a lot of the emails of people wanting to buy them too. So we'll get that worked out too.
Yeah. So after Joey left, I went to Hot Toys Japan. They met with the president of the company and their manager, Malin Matsumoto. And there's some fun pictures. They're up on my social media or whatever. But it was a really good meeting. And Joey and I were talking to them about doing a con exclusive for Soul Comics Week. So especially those pocket covers are amazing toys.
Oh yeah, I got one right here.
Yeah, I got right here. Check it out.
One. These are neat.
We didn't even know they had an Iron Man 126 pocket cover.
Yeah, this was something someone just brought up to the table and wanted signed. So where'd you get this?
So it's like that's a really cool thing. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's Maylin. She was terrific. Frank
on the back wall, you can see all the other ones.
He's not on there, and you got to remember too. Some of the stuff, Bill, was really hard to get footage because you're not allowed to photograph people in Japan without their permission.
Yeah,
it's
tricky
actually
to do a WTF then.
It's actually the same in Korea, but we have a thing with the shop when people join events. We always say that we actually have masks in the shops. Like if you don't want to be photographed while you're at an event, you can put on a mask. And so we've kind of gotten around it a little bit, but
I had a great meeting with them. One of the problems, I'm going to bring this out publicly, because I want people at DC to know about this. They're Asia distribution only. These great toys that they do at Toy Sapiens, which is their store there. But Hot Toys Japan, they do some of the best likeness stuff. I mean, that you've ever seen on toys. It's just amazing. The pocket covers have been really popular, right? But DC had Warner licensing will only let them use the Garcia Lopez guidebook stuff. Okay, right. They won't actually give them the rights to do any comic book covers. They want to do a Jim Lee Batman. Who wouldn't, right? Or Neil Adams Batman, but they can't get the Warner, with the stick up their ass. Won't they're like, no, you have to use, if you're merchandising, you have to use the style guide. Right. It's like, well, it's pocket covers. It's the idea is it's covers. And it's like, so I wrote Jim Lee, and I said, hey, let's do something about this, because it's like we're spreading the word of Western culture to Asia, and toys is a great way to do that too. I mean, it's a great little Iron Man figure. I'm very proud of it, and it was selling like crazy at the con. So there you go.
Did people bring them up to you to sign?
Oh hell yeah! It's like I said, but it wasn't all fun. Like I said, there was some business too. We went there. I guess Joey, we can talk about the cover the wraparound cover now. You already kind of announced it. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can't really show the art yet, but we could talk about. I just announced to Korea which cover we're doing.
Right. Exactly.
But we're doing.
I will be doing a wraparound cover, special retailer version wraparound cover of Gotcha Man.
the original voice of
The word
Ken
is
was
out.
at the show, and so I had one of the artists that speaks Japanese come over and help me get his autograph, and I talked to him for a while, and then I was telling him about Gotcha Band stuff, and I showed him our cover mock-ups and stuff, and then I got an autograph from him, and then he asked me some question about a Power Rangers thing, and I was like, oh well, I was talking more about Gotcha Band. He said, I didn't do Gotcha Band. I'm the first Red Power Ranger. The Gotcha Band guy came later, and then I talked to him. So his agent said I could send him some books to sign. So I was kind of embarrassed. Power Rangers are cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, anyway, we had a great time. I got to say that what started out as me being exiled from Korea and Joey and Cleo coming and bringing all the swag, and then TAC, because originally I was just going to go see TAC for the weekend and come back, right? And it just kind of snowballed into this whole event, and it turned out to be a blast. It was so great having Joey and Cleo. And when your friends meet your friends and they become friends, it's always a great thing, So, TAC loved Joey and Cleo. And so it was fun watching everybody just kind of interact, because, he and I have been buddies for a long time. We worked together in Hollywood on a project that never got made, of course. But our friendship has lasted all this time, and it's like, and now that he's recovering from cancer surgery, and the prognosis is good, he's doing well. It's like it was good to see him healthy. No, I can't show Space Ghost yet. Nick, can I show Space Ghost yet? No, the June solicitations haven't come out, right, for Dynamite.
Well, Nick will have to let us know. I haven't seen it yet, and I've seen all the emails that they've sent out.
Well, I'm sure Nikki will show it around. You'll like it. Trust me, you'll like it. It's good. Now I got to talk Nikki into letting me do a couple more. Maybe the Thunder Cats and a Gargoyles or something.
Well, Marcus says that Nick showed the cover on Friday on his show.
He did. You bastard!
Doggone it. So can we play the mystery, or not the mystery sketch, the drink and draw for you right now? I mean, I have I got it up. It's got those three clips that you sent from people whose places you stopped at.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice, only because we have a little segment there about Uncle Don, and we'll talk about that when we get back.
All right, that is true. And all right, let me go ahead and play this. So this was the clip I should have started with, but it wasn't ready when the show started. But here we go. This was the.
You didn't know we were going to be on. You thought we were done.
I ran out of time. I spent 2 hours on a tech support.
My last show, my big goodbye, my the last hurrah, and you crapped on it.
I failed you. I totally failed you. I know. But here, this is it. Let me. This is the Where in the World is Bob Layton from last night, where we can see the drink and draw and a few other clips.
All right, here is our last episode of Where in the World is Bob Layton. I'm with Drink and Draw President and NPO, my brother. And before we start, I just want to say a few words about my uncle Don Perlin, who passed away last night. It's like I've known Don since we worked together on a ghostwriter back in 1978, and he's the co-creator of Moon Knight and Bloodshot, and I talked to him a month ago before he passed away, and it's like, so I'm glad that we had a chance to talk before that happened. But anyway, remember him in your thoughts and prayers. And anyway, on with the show. So tonight, what are we doing, NPO?
We're going to do a child version of other characters.
Yes, adult characters. So, we're not doing like teenage sidekicks or whatever. We're going to do, if you do Batman, you do baby Batman or teenage Batman or baby Hulk or whatever like that. What are you doing?
I'm doing Aquaman.
Aqua Boy, okay, but not the Aqua Boy from Teen Titans. There's an actual Aqua Boy. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm doing Ghost Rider in honor of Don Perlin. So anyway, on with the show.
Better Call Saul on a baby car. I love that. And there's Capo. Baby Ghost Rider. MPO is definitely getting faster at what he does. Don't worry, Peter. I wasn't taking any non-proprietary. I mean, anything that you have to worry about. I didn't get your code in there. And they're looking over trading cards for some reason or whatever. I don't know why.
Hi, my name is Marit. I live in Copenhagen in Denmark, and I own a small comic shop called Fantask. And Bob visited here around 10 months ago. We had a lot of fun. We had a signing at the store. We had an interview where my colleague Yannick asked you about your career and about your tour through Europe. We had a lot of nice evenings out dining. And I must say, Bob, I'm impressed. I've never seen anyone charm as many girls in 1 week as you did. Miss you. Take care. Bye.
I was at the airport and I used my hands and a woman asked me not to be.
Just so you know, that thing was really loud and I forgot I needed to edit it. So we'll post it properly. So I'm sorry, but we got the drinking part in.
Well, there's two more. I asked, what I did was I sent out a request for the last show from everyone I did signings for who were in Where in the World is Bob Layton. Only 3 people responded. You know, my friend Dynamo. The rest of it's like, the rest of them, hey, listen, kiss my ass, okay? You know, it's like I come to your place for free. I work like a dog for a week or whatever, you know, doing signings and appearances and stuff like that. And you can't send me a video. Kiss my butt. You know?
Yes, I know. Well, so we didn't get to see the one from Dynamo, like you said, but because that one from Denmark, the audio was really loud, and I remember looking at the clip before I put it in there, but I forgot to change.
Yeah, the trouble is that they had to send them by phone, Bill, and with the phone, you never know. You know, when you decompress them and everything, it's like God knows, right?
Yeah, well, I will have that.
Joey looked like Aaron Rodgers. So how am I? Did you see that, Joey?
I actually get that a lot.
He gets it a lot. Yeah.
I was before COVID, when I was lifting more and stuff, I would get people. I was in a food court in Hawaii, and people came up and asked me if I was Aaron Rodgers. like no, it's like
so not the first time.
He's in way better shape than me.
Who do you get mistaken for, Bob?
Nobody.
Nope. Me neither.
No. When I used to have a ponytail, people thought I looked like Steven Seagal. You know, it's like I'd walk down the street in New York and be, hey, you look like that hard to kill mother. You know, it's like, but now.
Well, how are you walking through the street?
Well, yeah, I've always been me, man. You know, I don't think I actually have a doppelganger or anything.
Wrist locks and throws on everyone.
I don't think I resemble anybody. What are we showing here? Oh yeah, that's my little Ghost Rider tribute to Don.
Ghost Rider.
Baby Ghost Rider, yes. Just to remember Don. It's I posted something. I stayed up last night and wrote. You know, I sent it to you, Bill.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be in our email.
Don was the absolute curmudgeon of all time. You know, no matter what you did, Don would complain about it, even if it was for his best thing. I mean, whenever I came up with something new for him to do, oh, I don't want to do that. You know, it's like, and it turned out to be hugely successful for him. But, you know, it's like, oh, really? Because he resisted change at every step, you know. But every time we did it, it's funny, especially with the Bad Eggs, man. When I did the cartoon book, you know, for adults, the Bad Eggs, I was like, this sucks. I gotta do dinosaurs throwing poop. You know, it's like, I want to do real comics. But by the time we had finished, you know, the run and we left there, he was like, can we go get the rights to that and just keep doing the book as an indie? You know?
So even though he was kind of a curmudgeon, you know, you were obviously still pretty close, and you brought him over to work on.
And and he was a great mentor to a lot of the young people there at Valiant. He and Barry would, work in terms of, teaching basics, drawing skills to them. And like I said, Don wasn't the most exciting guy in the world, but he was a damn good draftsman. Had worked with Will Eisner,
Mm-hmm.
in the Will Eisner studio, and he had a ton of experience. You dropped out. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like your internet's getting a little flaky.
That my drawing is juvenile. Yeah. So Don was too with Bloodshot. I'll make this really brief. I really wanted to bring him into the 20th century, in a lot of his storytelling, because Don tended to be kind of 6-panel page guy. So I made him do breakdowns, like thumbnails, for the first issue of Bloodshot. And I threw out like half of what he did, because I said, no, Don, I want you bigger pictures in their face. Think more Jack Kirby kind of, dynamics and stuff like that. And I actually made him submit every single page that he drew on that, trying to get him into the next decade, right, in terms of how to draw. And to his credit, he did it. It's like he put up with me, but I like I said, I was determined that I was going to make this book a success, and I was going to make him a star. And like I said, Bloodshot was the most popular series. I think it was selling 400,000 copies or something. He was like he turned into a superstar after 40 years.
It was one of his favorite characters to work on, right?
That's why when I took him off, he bitched his head off about that. It's like, hey, I'm going to move you over to this new book, Time Walker, and it's like I want you to get going with that. And he's like, oh, you didn't want to leave Solar, you didn't want to leave Bloodshot, then he didn't want to leave Time Walker. And then he wanted to buy the rights to Bad Eggs. There's no pleasing him. And he hated that I named the monsters in Turok N64. He hated that I named them Perlins, because they were giant lumbering creatures, and Don was a big guy. Don was like, he was 6'5", 6'6", and massive. He had his own gravity well. So it's like he thought it wasn't that funny.
Well,
then it became the hit game of the year. He suddenly changed his tune on that too.
It took him a while to trust you, I think. That's what it came down to.
Like his entire life. Yeah, pretty much. But we always had fun arguing, and he was great. So anyway, I was really sad. I mean, not only was I exhausted, but I came back to find out my uncle had passed. So it's like everybody out there, just keep him in your heart. It's like I asked Kevin Van Hook to find a clip. There's a video clip from one of my birthday parties with Don dancing with his wife Becky to rock and roll music and just doing it terribly. And I really think that's how I want people to remember him, out there with all the kids, just trying to do his groove, getting his groove on. And I thought that would be a great way for people to remember him, because he always is, no matter what age he was, he always tried to fit in with wherever he was at, and God bless him, man.
Well, I didn't look up the number of credits he has, but I know he has a lot of art on C.A.F. So I mean, he's very well collected.
No, like you said, he was a journeyman. He wasn't the most exciting guy in the world, but it was one of those things where he was a great teacher. It's like he hired some of the best hires we had. He was obviously one of the best editors we had there too. So God bless him. Like I said, I got to talk to him. He was in hospice when I talked to him, but he kind of knew what was coming. But we had a nice conversation, and that's what counts. It's like
exactly.
Like I said, it was a life well lived, as they say.
Well, our condolences to the family, his friends, and all of his fans. I mean, it's just we've lost too many creators in the last 2 or 3 years. It's been a rough.
That's the truth, man. That's why I'm here right now, because like I said, I'm out seeing the world, because I do it while I still have time. That was what set me off. Was I think losing George Perez and Neil and a few others was the one that kind of set me on this journey. And I'm not done yet. Now I'm going to explore Asia while I'm here, based in Korea. So that's the thing. But Joey and I, we got lots of plans here. We got stuff to do. We have Soul Comics Week coming up in November. He and I are going to be going to Manila with Jiggy and stuff like that. So you'll be getting Where the World and Bob Layton from there. I have to leave in August, so I guarantee you, I'm not sure where I'm going yet, but you'll be getting Bob Layton from there as well. Okay.
Well, I expect video updates whenever you can get them, and any photographs, things like that, of stuff going on that's of note. We want to show it.
Sure. Well, Bill, anytime you want to have me on the show, just as Bob Layton, I'll do it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be under the context of anything. It's like we can just do the show.
Well, we did that one interview, but the thing is, I know that there's a lot more stuff we could be talking about at the end of your career as well. So yeah, we definitely will have you on.
Any chance I get to do a WTF is fun too, because I love doing those. I love surprising my fellow professionals with questions to embarrass them.
I'll post the video in its entirety tomorrow on the channel, where they can see some of the other conversations you had, and also that view from the top of the hotel, which was
well, and Joey and I will have some announcements to make along the way, so I'll make sure that you know what we're up to here. We might want to come on and push a few things. I guess being alum, it gives me at least an opportunity to gorilla my way onto the show once in a while.
Yeah, I'm at your disposal, Bob. You've given me a whole year of your life, as well as Joey. I appreciate it.
56 episodes, right? I mean, most sitcoms don't last that long.
That's very true. So true.
56 episodes of where the fuck is Bob Layton? So anyway, Bill, first of all, let me thank Joey for being on here with me the whole time, because he's got a business to run and he takes time out from his day, because it starts early for him. But I want to thank everybody online right now here watching the show that's followed us through the 50-something episodes of this ridiculous trip I'm on, and it's like, thank you, man, for having me at OAX and just putting up with my ridiculousness, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, Bill.
It was my pleasure, Bob. And, I don't think of this as an end. I mean, we're going to be doing new stuff, I think, and it's going to be just as fun as what we've been able to do the last year. But it better not be Joey's last appearance on the show, though. Because
I just said I wanted, as Cleo said, which I think was perfect. She always knows where I'm at. So do you. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So where the world Bob Layton seems redundant now, because I live in Seoul, Korea.
Exactly.
So it's like, if we have a better idea, we'll do it, man.
You got it. And Marcus is giving you the send off with a "We love Bob" triple heart.
They love Joey too. Yeah,
and they love Joey too, right?
All right, brother. Give Cass my best, okay? I wanted him on the show for the last episode. But he texted me this morning. I apologize, but I really wanted Cass on the show too.
Where he was. He
was in a business meeting. He couldn't do it.
Yes.
All right, guys. Joey. I'll talk to you later this evening after I wake up.
All right. Well, we'll see you sometime.
Guys, thank you all. All right, and we will see you soon. Okay.
All right, Bob, Joey, take care, guys. All right, man. My apologies to both Bob and Joey for totally messing up my schedule this week. It's been I'm still recovering from the weekend. It's we had a very, as you know, with Comic Art Live going on. How many panels did I host? I think I hosted 11 of the 14 panels, or at the very least had something to do with all of them. So I've been kind of a mess and still getting caught up. That's why last night I was still, when I pounded those Zevias, I shouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm literally still a bit of a wreck, but I'm raring to go. We've got so many things going on right now. It's really hard to take a break, but yeah, Jason says OAX was great this weekend. That is why I wore this shirt, because I knew everybody who watched my show last night would get a kick out of that. It was, yeah. But I went back and I looked at it. It was Berkey that said OAX first and didn't say instead of CA Live, and the Zevia kicked in and overtook me, and I was not able to to think anything differently. But yeah, so like I say, there's so many things going on. It's kind of crazy, but we're getting another update on the app tomorrow, which should have a really cool update to it. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I really did want to talk a bit about Comic Art Live. I know we did the recap at the end of the show, and I really didn't look a lot at the metrics as much as I should have, and we really didn't dive into a lot of stuff. But the cool thing is sales are still happening on Comic Art Live. With literally a $50,000 cover was marked as sold today. So I kind of have had to go back and reevaluate the sales figures, and take into account all the emails that I've gotten from people that have talked about sales that they had and they deleted the artwork out of their booths. So right now we're probably sitting somewhere in the neighborhood of 950,000, and who knows? Maybe by next Sunday or so we'll cross over the million mark. At least that is measurable. So that to me is a very successful show. I know that. I saw a write-up on Facebook today by Mike Browning. He said something about the sales being light. I don't know. I mean, when you're reaching 900 to 950,000 to $1 million, I don't know if that feels light. It wasn't a negative thing that Michael said at all, but just kind of reading through the thought there. When you have one or two people complain about not getting sales, all of a sudden everybody thinks that the show had light sales. But 950 to $1 million is pretty solid. And it kind of made me think a bit about, how those numbers relate to other marketplace platforms. Because we can look at marketplace. There aren't many that we can compare, the Comic Art Live event to. But I think, when I look at it, I look at, Comic Link, Comic Connect. I think Heritage all have marketplaces that, don't have. I don't think you have a lot of sale throughput, but they are marketplaces. eBay is really the only one I can kind of compare us to, and so I started thinking about that in relation to Comic Art Live. How do we compare against a marketplace that's out there every single day? What did Marcus say? Same people who didn't get a sale will complain prices are too high. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, you can't make everybody happy. But I did make a slide, because when I started thinking about comparing the weekend of Comic Art Live to eBay, because again, closest comparison is a marketplace that's up there 24/7. It kind of gave me some data points to think about, and I made a slide. I actually made a slide. This is like a Dino slide, I guess. But if you what I did was I started thinking about the total sales. So if we're at 950,000, how much time would it take eBay to reach in the original comic art category to reach 950,000? And we report on them all the time, right? So their average sales weeks are between 130 and 150. So to bring them up to 950,000 in sales, they have to show, and this is probably a low number, because right now on eBay there's 100,000 items in the original comic art category. Sure, a lot of it's prints, whatever, but bottom line is they need to show 125,000 items for sale to equal the same sales figure that we only had to show 6,200 items for. Granted, our sales are lower, but our sell-through rate is higher, right? We sell 10% of the items. They only sell basically 20. And what we did in 1.5 days would take eBay 48 days to do the exact same thing. So, when you think about light sales or the success or failure of an event like ours, and you compare it to the only platform that kind of comes close, I think we do pretty well. And especially you have to think about it too, that a lot of the items that are on eBay are 30-day listings because they're buy it nows. So they didn't have, a day and a half to even hope to sell them. They had 30 days and recycled over 30 days. And in this case, a whole month and a half if they wanted. So, when I look at that comparison, I think that we do pretty well, even in a light month. Yeah, well, it's an active, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, it can feel lighter when you have a couple sellers who don't sell anything, right? Or when you look at the overall figures, we had the most exhibitor booths that we've ever had before, and it was a lot. I mean, I think it was 360. So that means that, at the end of the day, if we only had 600 sales, that means only 1.5 per person. But that's really not, that's not the way the metrics shake out, because, there were a couple sellers that sold over, a dozen pieces. So, so at the end of the day, you have a fair number of people selling 3 or 4 or 6, and then a few people selling more than that. And then you have some sellers that don't sell a whole lot. Bob's telling me to check my email. I'll try to multitask. Oh, I can show it. All right. I will definitely show it before the end of the show, Bob. I've got it on my laptop, but I can move it over to my other computer. So I will do that. Michael says, congrats. I'm very happy C.A.F is doing well. Yeah, no, we are. We definitely are. I mean, the thing is, when I was looking at the stats too, one of the things, we can't report on commissions, for instance. There were 86 commission requests that went through to sellers, or to art reps. That doesn't count the commission requests that went directly to individual artists as well. That's a pretty solid figure, especially given the fact that we sold 265 mystery sketches in advance of the show. That by itself, was over a $60,000 figure in mystery sketches alone. But then on top of that, to have 86 commissions go to artists who were from repped booths and not know what those figures are, even if you say the average is $400 on those, that's a pretty solid number. Another 35,000 from that. So I feel pretty good about that. That's over 100,000 in commissions raised for artists. And where else can you do that? I mean, that doesn't. There's no other marketplace that comes close to that. Are the mysteries? I haven't included them, but I could. I mean, I guess that would pretty much put us in the $1 million range. Chris says he did okay at Cal, better than last year. Hey, what more can you can get? Steve Mussolino sold 3 items. I like to hear that. But so that's how it goes. I think I listed 32 items, and I sold 3 during the show and 1 after the show. So that I had 3 that went through the checkout, and 1 somebody made an offer on, and I did that sale outside of the show. So I sold 4 out of 30. I mean, it just is what it is. I think it, but the numbers really kind of paint a different story, as far as like how well it works. I mean, if those items were up in a full-time marketplace on C.A.F for 30 days, how many would sell? How many of the sellers would have the opportunity to actually move those items in a marketplace that was 24/7? I think we'd have a whole lot more sales than that. Probably double the number. So that would bring us closer to like 20-25% sell through. Jason sold 4 of 18. Exactly. So so there you have it. And I think a lot of sellers did pretty well. Outside of the show, numbers don't count, says Marcus. Yeah, they do. It still happened. Where was the lead generated was during the show floor. The guy who just sold the $50,000 cover, I'm counting that towards the show, because the lead happened there, and they knew it. That's why they went back into their booth and marked an item as sold. Steve says, seems the saved views are still available to send a notification. Absolutely, Steve. But the only thing I would mention to you, because I know a couple sellers did send those save emails out after the fact. The one thing you have to remember is the link going back to the piece will not work now, because it's linking to your to the piece in your booth, and nobody can get there. So if you were going to send a saved email out to some people to retarget, and I would encourage every seller to do that if you want, just make sure that you make a note. You can't click over to the piece. Here's a link to my booth, or here's my email. Put your email right in the body of that, and let them contact you directly. That would be the way to do it. But the link now won't work. And that was a note that I had actually made for Maureen, trying to think about in the retargeting emails after the show. We should just find a way to update the links and whatnot to send the buyers over to your booth. But that could get a little confusing. So again, it's something for us to think about. Maureen has a list of about 15 things to work on already. But but that's the one thing to do. So Steve, feel free to do it. I've actually thought about doing it, because I've got several pieces that I thought, that I could probably change the price on and get a few more sales. Let's see. Tina got a commission from Dexter Lee. Jiggy says the commission is already done. That's always positive. Jason says Comic Art Live killed both auctions last night. They both underperformed. Yep. I heard similar rumblings. I mean, that happens. Hey, you take $1 million out of the marketplace, that is going to happen. Speaking of fast shippers or whatnot, Maureen actually bought a piece of art during Comic Art Live, I think on Saturday. It could have been Sunday, but either way, Brian Mulcahy. Brian, premium C.A.F member, had a booth this weekend. Brian got the art here already today. I'll try to open it and talk at the same time. I don't quite remember what Maureen bought, but again, see, we have very respectful sellers in the platform, and turning something around so it's in hand 4 days after the show. I love it, and so thank you, Brian, for doing that, and exhibiting and taking money from my wife or whatever she bought here. Let's see here. What was it? Oh, that's right. It was a Sabrina piece, and I don't remember who the artist was, but there you go. So nice little painting. So thank you, Brian. My wife thanks you. Maureen will be very happy to put this one on the wall. So yeah, and I'm running out of space. So there we go. What else we got? Chris Nork shipped everything on Monday. I shipped everything on Tuesday. I actually took Monday off. I hate to say it. Catherine and I had a really fun meeting early in the day, and it was in Orlando. And so after the meeting was over, I basically had Maureen, Gwen, and Emma meet me over at one of the parks, and we went to the Magic Kingdom after that. So from like 2 to 10, I actually saw the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom for the first time. As many times I've been there, I've never once stayed long enough to see them. But we took a nice break, so it was good to just kind of not think about C.A.F, Cal, or anything, and that probably is another reason why I'm still a little bit behind. At any rate, so yeah, from my perspective, I think Cal did really well. We did do sales clearly were better than they were in November, where I still think we were feeling a little bit of the recession. But to get us back to a position that's probably at 7 figures, I feel really good about that. And it gives me a lot of confidence in the things, the initiatives that we're working on right now, and certainly gives us a lot of things to think about for the 10th show in November. So yeah, lots of fun things going on. But yes, Orlando, you say, yeah. At any rate, I did talk with, I don't know when Jiggy's going to be sending his first package. I have to let her say that to everybody, but we will do an unboxing the moment that arrives. We'll figure out, I'll make sure I leave some space open for us to schedule a show with Jiggy and a few of his artists to do an unboxing. Steve says the markets are at an all-time high. Yeah, they're selling their NVIDIA stock. I sold my NVIDIA stock before it became very valuable, unfortunately. But yeah, no, things are good. Definitely things are good. So again, that's why I feel like we're going to have some good stuff going on in the 10th show in November. So where do I want to go from here? Chris Nork is excited for his first mystery sketch. I wish I actually was sent some scans. Mark Hayes been getting scans in, and he's been providing them to collectors who were okay with sending them. So I've been able to see a few of them already, and again, they're all fantastic. The ones that I've gotten early previews on. Of course, I'll probably do an unboxing with Mark during a C.A.F update. Same thing with Tatiana if I can, and. I was emailing with Dan Brereton. He said he would have his stuff in the mail, I think, early next week. So, he sends them to me, and I ship those out for him. So, yeah, I think we'll be seeing a lot of mystery sketches in the next week and a half or so. Goo says, I've never gotten a mystery sketch, maybe this November. Well, wait and see how these ones turn out, and then make that decision. I think everybody should. At the end of the day, the thing is, sales on that were fantastic. We doubled what we had sold in November. And again, for me, that's just great. We want to keep the artists busy that are supporting the show. And, that's several independent artists. It's the artists from Japan Comic Art Expo, from Tatiana, from 4C, from Jiggy, from Mark A at Splash Page, and can I show some of the finished pieces during the Manic stream? Yeah, Jiggy, that's cool. If because at the end of the day, you know, we want to get these in the mail fast. I'd rather not sit on some stuff. And one thing I can tell you, I'm actually going to be out of town next week. I leave on Thursday, and I'll get back next Wednesday. I'm going to see my mom. It is her 85th birthday, and I thought, you know, I typically have been going up there in July to visit her, kind of in between, you know, the Christmas holiday. But because it's her birthday, I wanted to go up and see her. So I'm going to fly out of here on Thursday morning, and I'll get back on Wednesday. So I don't have a lot of shows scheduled in between there. Obviously, that is our next C.A.F update. So it'll probably be a very light show, but I will do it from my mom's house. So that is, yes, Ohio is close to Wisconsin, Chris. But yeah, so the thing is, I might do an unboxing where I'm in Ohio and I have like Gwen open stuff if we end up having to do something like that, because I basically got all of the Masonite cut and ready. I'm ready to ship 100 packages, so I've got everything set up. And if I'm in Ohio when any of the mystery sketch packages arrive, I'd rather do an unboxing with Gwen and Jiggy, for instance, and myself. And then that way Maureen and the girls can start packing them up before I even get back. So we have a very busy time coming up, but we're ready for it. So that being said, I don't have anything else to add about Comic Art Live, but really the cool thing is, and we haven't done this before, but Maureen and I were like really focused after we got back from the Magic Kingdom. On Tuesday, we sat down and she had a list of programming updates and I had a list of programming updates, and she's been going through them really quickly. And there's really some stuff we've talked about almost literally from the first show that we're implementing finally for show number 10. Like for instance, the dates are already updated. If you click on Comic Art Live link in the menu now, it shows the upcoming dates, but at the same time allows you to go and still work in your booth to mark things as sold and do those sorts of things. That wasn't possible before, but you know, that was something we needed to do programmatically. So it's done. It's lots of stuff going on. Let's see. Oh, Tina got to see her mystery sketch and she seems very happy. Dexter Wee. And I didn't, hey, Jiggy, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Emma pick Dexter for a commission in the booth, or am I mistaken? I think it was Dexter Wee. Dexter's, he's got some skills. So I definitely would encourage anybody to pick up something from Dexter in the future if you're looking for a commission, because he's very, very talented. Not a mystery sketch for Tina. Okay, sorry. Yes, Dexter. Maureen's reminding me it was Dexter. It was a commission she ordered. See, well, Dexter got some commissions, and Dexter's working on Emma's commission now. See, oh, there you go. Fantastic. All right. Well, see, this is what I like to hear. Like I said, I know that almost 90 commissions were ordered during the weekend, and yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, there you go. I think we've talked about that enough. Look, I actually can cross off the package open there too. So the Julius Cabrera Invincible Mystery Sketch was amazing too. So Rom got to see an Invincible Mystery Sketch. That's true. That's true. We got to see a preview of those. Yeah. So anyways, yes, Jiggy, on Saturday night when we do the show with Mannix, we will go ahead and we can preview some stuff. Now, let me see here. Did I even... I didn't. Yeah, I did. I've got it on there. Mannix's art fundraiser for Zyla. That's going to be 9 p.m. this Saturday. So Mannix and Jiggy will be joining me. And I've got those 16 sketch cards. We will be auctioning them off. We're going to start at $75 for each. And just kind of leave the bidding open to the chat. That's how we'll start the show off. It sounds like we'll have some mystery sketches to look at before Jiggy puts them in the mail to me. So so that's going to be fun. So that, you know, we might make it an hour-and-a-half show, but it'll be a good time. So I hope people can tune in on Saturday evening to join us and you know, appreciate the fun stuff. Got Mannix, you got it. There's going to be a lot of Mannix with no COAs. Thank you, Jiggy. I appreciate that. Following the rules. But after so next week, while I'm still here in Florida, I'll have the Jason Beam, Dr. Balls interview on Tuesday night. Wednesday night is the 150th episode of the Dueling Dealers of Comic Art between Mike and Anthony. So all new memes for that evening. It's kind of a story throughout, a little different than what we've done in the past, but I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Then the following week, I've got Dave Kopecky and Ben Breslin against each other in an amateur match on the 29th. We got Jamal Eigel for an interview and an art sale that's Saturday, June 1st. That'll be a 2 p.m. show. Then the following Wednesday, Matt DiTullio versus Carl Choi in an amateur match. So we got 2 amateur matches consecutive. I think that's a first for us as well. I don't know if we've done that before, but that's what we're doing. Then what do we got? We have the Jordan match that will be on the Tuesday on the 11th, but I haven't confirmed yet. Nick may or may not be able to make that one. And of course, I've still got my dates all juggled up in there, but the Bart Series interview is on the 8th and art sale. Kazra and I and Mr. Wingo will be at Heroes Con in June 14th through the 16th. Then I've got a Heritage Signature Comic Connect auction preview as well, and Hembeck on the 22nd. So yeah, lots of stuff going on, and I'm sure I'm missing a few of a few additional things on the schedule. But as far as Jamal Eigel goes, I did get an email from him today with his art scans, so I can give you a preview of that. So this is going to be on the 1st, right? I said it was going to be. I think I said the 1st. Got too many things to think about. But yes, June 1st, 2 p.m., Jamal Eigel and I. And I haven't even looked at what was in here, but we can take a look right now. It looks like everything's abbreviated. So we got a Teen Titans piece right here. Kind of looks like it's a title page, right? With the headshots on it too. I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out. I don't think he gave me a list. Then we got something from Archie, Free Comic Book Day. That's pretty nice. And I don't know what WHD stands for. Somebody in the chat probably does. But I got that. What else we got? Geiger variant cover. And we got something called Blacksmith. I don't know. Blacksmith. That's a weird one. I don't know what that's from, but that's a cover as well. Something from Infinite Frontier, an interior page of some sort. Looks like Spectre, maybe. Last panel there. Then Kwanzaa card, DC Kwanzaa card. Look at that. That is not a lot of details on it, but cool. Very nice piece. Then something from Snickers. I have no idea. It's Snickers ad in a DC book. What did Marcus say? I don't know. Let me see here. What else we got? Something else from the Snickers ad. It's like Green Lantern and Superman in there. And White 01 variant. Don't know what it is, but we'll have that. Archie versus Predator. I didn't. It does really satisfy, right? Rick, it really does. Let's see here. So Archie versus Predator. Did not know that was a thing, but it is. And then I think this is one of the G.I. Joe wraparound covers that Jamal's got to send. And this is the other one. I think I showed everybody those before. And then we have a Superman 714. It's _9. So I'm assuming that's an interior page. Then Supergirl 600. Don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. And look at that. The Flash. I don't know what it's from. It doesn't have an issue number, but it does say cover. What's the difference between those two? Just the size of the image. Okay. So a Flash cover we'll have. And then we've got Supergirl interior page. Another Supergirl interior page. And another. And another. Looks like, I guess those are finished pencils. So there you go. That is what Jamal has brought for our show. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the 150th show as well. CJ says maybe another t-shirt. I don't know. It says cover on it. It says cover. It was a nice flash. But yeah, Jamal, I've actually never met Jamal. I think he's been at a few shows that I've been to, but I've never had the opportunity to talk to him. So that's going to be a first for me. All right. So scratching all, yeah, man, we're moving right along now. So, yeah, you guys and your wraparound covers. I know what you're thinking. I do. I definitely do. I got to get this. Well, you know what? While this video is playing, I'll move this thing over because I do have the Space Ghost cover that the finished version that Bob worked on. So I've got that. I'm going to move that over. But what I can do now is what do we got? I got a video to play from a page I love, and Kevin Sharp has queued up a couple for me, and this is the most recent one. It's a very long one. Well, I think it's like 15 minutes. So I've kind of cropped this one at like 8 or so. So it's with the writer John Acrudi, and the page that he picked out is probably the oldest page I think that we've ever had anybody want to talk about. But an interesting one. So I guess John has taught a few classes in comic book creation himself, and he makes note of that in this little page I love segment. So this will be an abbreviated segment with him, and I'll post this probably on Saturday morning in its entirety. But here we go. And again, thank you to Kevin Sharp. If you ever see Kevin at a show, high five him. Thank him for all the effort he's put into these page I love bits for us. I certainly appreciate it.
Hey everyone, it's Kevin Sharp. Today I'm joined by writer John Arcudi, whose latest work is The Savage Sword of Conan, #1 from Titan Comics. John, welcome to Comic Art Live. I hear we're going in the way, way, way back machine to talk about some Golden Age art today.
Thanks for having me. I do appreciate it. As I told you earlier, any chance to talk about Jack Cole, I'm happy. The page is from Smash Comics number 82. And I guess you can see the cover here featuring Midnight and Woodland Boy, which is more or less the title of there were never titles for most of Jack Cole's shorts. So, the title is basically, this is Woodland Boy, because it's the first line. And even though this was published, years before I was born, I didn't become aware of Cole's involvement in the Midnight stories at the end of the run, Smash's comics run, until about 25 years ago. I knew obviously about Plastic Man. I knew that he created Midnight, did the early stories in Smash Comics, but I didn't realize that he had returned to do them, and it's some of his best work. So that's where my interest came in.
So how would you have been exposed to this aspect? Because obviously, as you said, Cole is, most people would just immediately say Plastic Man. How would you have discovered this?
As I said, I knew that he created Midnight and did the first few stories. This I saw in a comic shop might be 26 years ago, but whatever, and even, obviously if you look at the cover, you can see immediately, like, it's very bold, and if you know Cole's stuff, it's obviously Cole. But more than that, when I saw Woodland Boy, I thought, oh my God, because I'm a huge jazz fan, right? And I said, oh my God, he's obviously referencing Nature Boy. But I got the comic down off the wall, and sure enough, this came out, I think, about 8 months after Nature Boy had been released. And Nature Boy was written by Annette Cole recorded it, if I can say that already. And it was a huge, huge hit. And as a result, the guy who wrote it, Eden Abez, became sort of a cause célèbre. And Eden Abez was part of, we're going to go into it here a little bit. Eden Abez was part of the Nachtschmerz movement that came out of Germany, but was very big in California in the 40s. And he lived outside. He had a long beard and long hair. He didn't quite dress like this, but that's artistic license. But he didn't dress in new clothes either. And when I can't remember if he was found by the people who wanted it, the Capitol, I think, recorded it with Cole. I can't remember if they're the ones that found him living under the Hollywood sign, or if like the paparazzi looking for like this guy because of this phenomenon. It was 8 weeks at #1. they found him, and as I said, he became a cult celeb because he looked like a nut, especially in 1948. This guy living outside with his wife. I don't think he had any children then, and so this story, clearly Woodland Boy, with the music for the song Woodland Boy, is based on that. So that was, it amplified my interest. And then I, looked more closely at the stuff that Cole was doing. And as we'll see in a second, it's really some of his best work. Probably doesn't outdistance Plastic Man. But when you consider how stupid the comic Midnight had become by this point, and what Cole still brought, to bear on the stories, it's pretty remarkable.
So as we go inside the comic here for the page that you chose, how was it? Did you come to this particular page out of this whole story?
I taught. It's brilliant. I mean, as soon as you see it, well, as soon as I saw it, I don't know, can't speak for everybody. You can see how brilliant it is in terms of storytelling, and it gives you everything you need. There's so much information on this one page. And I taught a class in comics writing at Drexel University back in 2009 and 10. And this is one of the pages I wanted to show them in terms of storytelling. Sort of silly when you think about it, because no writer in his right mind would ever ask an artist to do this on one page. But I still thought it was a brilliant example. You go at the top from being in one scenario, and the truth is, of course, it's not a bottle page. You don't know who Woodland Boy is just on this one page. But you do see him introduced in the second panel, and everyone is scratching because they have fleas, because Woodland Boy lives outside and, he's covered with fleas. They don't bother him, but they bother everybody else. So there's Dave Clark, which is Midnight's alter ego, waiting for everybody with some DDT in a bug sprayer, right? And so sprays everybody, gets all the fleas and takes off of them, right? And then that fourth panel is just incredible. We have to get from one place to the other, and he does it in one panel, right? And the lettering has a lot to do with this. The script has a lot to do with this, but the art is what makes it work, They talk about going back to the studio. The next panel will say at the broadcasting studio. But how do you get from one place to another? You get in a car and you drive from the country, which is obviously where they are because there's a cow. There are birds on the wire, on the telephone lines in the foreground. He makes these things obvious so we know that we're still in the country, and then we get to the city. Now, if you've been reading Midnight, as the people back then were, mostly kids probably, they would know that the studio, the broadcasting studio, by the way, this was probably lettered by Cole too. You can tell because his exclamation points were always sort of little exaggerated triangles. And you can see a lot of exclamation points here, and they're all little exaggerated triangles, some bigger than others. Anyway, and it's beautiful lettering. That's another clue. So you're back in the studio, and what does Woodland Boy immediately do? He pulls out a nature magazine while he's surrounded by all the other characters. And that's what I meant earlier about this being a stupid comic. You got a talking monkey in this comic. For some reason, you've got this character, I don't even know if you can call him a character, Hotfoot, a polar bear cub. I don't know what that's about. And then you've got Sniffer Snoop there with the Deer Slayer hat. It's just this huge cast for this, this comic that's just a Spirit ripoff, right? It doesn't really make any sense, but Cole works with it, as we'll see again in a second. So already Woodland Boy is missing nature, and he's back in it, pulling out that magazine. And then in the next panel, where are we? Oh, that's the great thing about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a single panel seems really crowded, and the page itself doesn't seem crowded. Now that Perez is gone, I challenge any artist, and Ross Andrew, I challenge any artist working today to be able to put as much information on the page and in each panel and make it not look crowded on a single page. It's very, very difficult.
And it is. What did Rich say? Cole worked on Midnight and Spirit. Both are amazing. Yeah. Similarities between the two, certainly. But yeah, Cole is pretty awesome. Now, I did get that image, the Space Ghost image, the final image there from Bob that Nick is allowing him to share. So there we have it right there. The colored version of Space Ghost. Not too shabby, Bob. Very, very nice. A very good selling book, I've heard. I've only heard positive things about it. So congrats on another successful launch for Mr. Barucci. He's having a hit after hit over there. All right, let me move along, get that out of there. What was the other thing I was trying to pull up? All right, let's see. It is gorgeous. So, hey, I've got my friend Chris Snork in the green room, and let's bring him in and say hi. Hey, Chris. How are you, man?
I'm good. You?
I'm still recovering, unfortunately, but yeah, everything's good, man. You know, I'm definitely not doing 11 panels next time we do a Comic Art Live. I told people I needed help, and I got a few people to text me after the last recap. Yeah, I'm not doing that again. I think we have enough well-spoken people that can handle a few panels, and I don't mind doing a few, but it definitely was way too much this last time.
Holler at your boy.
I will. Well, I know that, we do have to talk about that. I know that you and Chuck had an idea and everything, and there's some stuff that we just haven't really had a lot of time internally to sit down and think about and talk about. But definitely I could use, even because to me, it's like, I want to leave everybody free on Saturday, right? Because you're shopping, you're selling, but
Sure.
Sunday, I mean, heck, Anthony can run his panel by himself.
Yeah.
Mark Hay can handle his panel with Paulo. I don't need to do that. I mean, I like talking to Paulo, but we can work things out. I don't need to be so busy next time. But even Nick Barucci could do a panel, host one, right? I mean, see, we have people who are qualified to do it. But yeah, anyway, man. So you had a good weekend? I know you had a few sales. I saw you say that in the chat.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm planning to roll them over and do a couple upgrades. So yeah, that was my goal, was to move some small pieces and maybe get some stuff by those same artists that's a little bigger, a little badder.
Mm-hmm. Did you? So you didn't pick up anything, or did you see anything you wanted this weekend?
I saw something I wanted very, very much, but I'm trying to keep my powder dry for a heritage auction at the end of the month.
Got it. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
And it didn't sell. So if this heritage win doesn't pan out, I'm going to be reaching out to somebody who posted a cover at Comic Art Live.
Sweet. There were a lot of covers. That was one of the things I was looking at, because I saw people are always kind of curious, like what stuff gets listed for sale, what sells and things. And where was it? I'm not going to show the slide, but I mean, just some generic data was that of the sales, 215 of them were interior pages, made up about 400,000 of the sales. Covers, 57 sales, 175,000. So between those two, almost 600,000 of the sales came from interiors and covers. And I don't think I have any stats like based on number of pieces that were available, dollar amounts and things. But anyways, you get it. I mean, there was a lot, but it's all about what you expect, right? As far as sales. The $0 to $500 range art sold. There were 271 sales from that for $61,000. I mean, not a huge number, but pretty decent. But of the and then I go to 5,000 and up, there were 600 pieces. 33 of them sold for $443,000. So the half of the sales came from $5,000 and up pieces. Only 33 of them sold, so it's not even like a lot. But that's 5% of the pieces that were brought that were priced $5,000 and up, and they averaged more than around $14,000 a piece. So pretty decent stuff. But that's the kind of metrics that are definitely out there. Interior pages definitely make up the brunt of the items that are brought in.
Sure.
Anyway, sorry, I forgot about that.
the math works out, right? I mean, there's 22 pages an issue, and
definitely. And yeah, the 10,000 saves this time. I think that's a record as far as people saving art to go back and hope to get retargeted or to see if something sells.
That is such a clutch move. I have to say, like, I actually didn't think about that until, I mean, you brought it up the week before, right? The last update.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And I saved a couple things. And then, sure enough, Sunday rolled around. They knocked a couple prices down. And now I feel like, even if it's 10%, if it's 15%, I mean, if you were on the fence, and honestly, I think one of the pieces I sold was I marked it down on Sunday, and the end of the day on Sunday, I got an offer. So,
yeah, well, one of the pieces, the last piece, I didn't use the save feature, because a person just reached out and made an offer. I countered it, and then ended up, saying at the end of the, right at the end of the show, hey, all right, I'll take this, if you're good with it, because they had already bought one of the other 3 purchases. So it just, it worked out good. I'd rather move the art than sit on it. And that worked out really fine. But it was nice seeing that many saves, because I saved like a dozen pieces, but just judging by the figures, I think a lot of people were utilizing that. So
yeah. And I think the other thing that was fun for me was, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everybody's kind of talking amongst their, their peers, their friends, whatever, about kind of like the meta, like what did we see? What do we feel like the pricing is like? Those kinds of things. I had some really good discussions with people on Monday, Tuesday about, about the show and about like people's pricing and things like that. So, that's part of the hobby. And, to be honest, it's part of the fun.
Exactly. That's true. And Carl mentioned, if nothing else, sending an offer shows you're willing to negotiate and hopefully opens up a dialogue.
Yep.
It's true. I mean,
I didn't have to fight with anybody. I just, a couple people came in like right at what I asked for. And I feel my pricing was, basically what I paid, or in one case, like below what I paid, just because, I'm trying to build a war chest, and I didn't have to fight with anybody. It was like, yep, let's go. So
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you saw, well, did you watch the recap? I mean, one of the things that came out of that, and it's James, I think, was the one that suggested it, the idea of being able to share the a listing, with somebody else. Like, you're all into, he and Jason are into X-Men art, and James sees it, he knows he doesn't want it, but he can shoot it over to Jason, so he can have a look at it too, and then kind of coming up with a way to not necessarily reward those people who share stuff that eventually ends up in a sale, but I think there's bound to be a way to kind of track that kind of activity,
it's a way to systematize what we're all doing with our friends anyway, right? Like, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? We're all doing that regardless, and to put like a backbone behind it to be able to do it easier and more conveniently, and to like legitimize it, I think it just makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah, very true. Let's see here. What else we got? I thought, Ron Lim, it's in the mail. I was told it was in the mail. And for those of you who bought Linsner art a few weeks back, the registered package that he sent that was from Atlanta to me took over, like, I think it was 8 days to get here under lock and key, but it did arrive on Tuesday, and all of those pieces were put in the mail on Wednesday. So I should have it, Ron. I should have the Hitch commissions and a batch of new art from him by Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I think it was shipped FedEx, so that shouldn't take too long from UK. But I'll keep you posted. I will certainly shoot the commissioners an email whose pieces are in there, because I know yours is in there. But yeah, back to so I'm glad it went well. That's what's important. And it's going to be even better when we do it again in November. I think, the interesting thing was just seeing, the site stats and the amount of traffic. We had really good traffic the whole weekend. There were over 800 people on the site at the 1 o'clock drop. There were over 600 premium members that were there at the 11 o'clock drop on Saturday, which is, all good signs, because, not every premium member is going to be coming in on a Saturday to buy. And we were competing against Mother's Day and everything else too on Sunday. There was enough things really working against us this time around, and I felt like I know it went over 300,000 page views for Saturday alone, which is more than triple what we would normally do. We're always right around 100,000 page views a day, or so. To go to over 300 is solid. The site was fast, so I was happy by and large with the way everything worked out.
Good.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, so did I load everything right? I think I did, but I guess we can talk a little bit about heritage, right? We gotta do some previewing and some other things here. But I got to find my heritage tab now. Here it is. So anything else? Nothing else to talk about with Comic Art Live, right? I think by and large. Okay, well that's good. Then all right, let's cue this thing up here with heritage. Share the screen. And hey Nick, I did get that video, but I wasn't able to import it, so I'm going to play it in the odd way that I sometimes have to play a preview. But it'll work. Here we go. So over on Heritage, it was kind of a mixed bag of stuff this time around. So I'll be curious to see where they end up with their sales next week. But it's not like this is a spectacular image, but it's a title page from Star Wars number 70.
I had this book.
Look at that.
I remember that title page.
I like it. And it's funny. I saw this too. It's like how Gamble penciled certain pages. Palmer did some. Palmer does all the inks. It's kind of an odd way, but as far as a presentation piece, if you had this in your Itoya and you flip to this, everybody's going to go, ooh,
Not to mention the Falcon's one of the coolest characters in the comic.
Exactly. The Stenix Shuffle. But yeah, I thought this was pretty neat. And I don't know, is it doing okay? 675 in bids, but I'm sure there's enough Star Wars fans out there that this thing's going to do really well. Yeah, definitely. No one bid on it, says Jason. Jason, you're not a Star Wars fan. Come on.
You know what? He kind of is.
Is he really?
He low key, he's a Star Wars fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to admit that he likes anything outside of X-Men, which I just don't understand.
He wants you to underestimate him as a buyer. I think that's probably what it is. I think we're learning that he is he's a little more crafty than we give him credit.
Those Jersey guys, it's all a long con.
Let's see. Yeah, Carl even agrees with you there. That was one that jumped out to me. Falcon is cooler than most of the characters. Yep. Where was that? Larry says you can't get Gamble to draw that anymore. No. So there you go. This is your one chance for a very nice title page. Then Plastino. I didn't think like the page was like super exceptional or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's a page from 1954. It's got Superman. Look, is he fixing a tire? For crying out loud!
Probably.
He's in every panel, everybody. In this Al Plastino Superman page. So I don't know. That alone warranted me featuring it. I thought it was cool. We don't see these too often in the. There's Derek. Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. Maybe he is a Star Wars fan. I haven't.
He likes Black Chrysanthemum for sure.
Yes. So anyway, so there you go. Nice Plastino, and it is what it is. Got to pull up some rare pieces every now and then.
There's great expressions on that page, and part of this period is Superman doing like seemingly inane stuff, like getting a cat out of a tree or whatever. So if this is your era of Superman, this is a great page.
Definitely. Then Danny might be interested in this piece. You never know. This is a Steve Ditko, Tom Palmer, ROM number 60 page, and the very slow loading Heritage interface these days. Now we got no ROM on it, right? But we have dire wraiths.
Look at the tones.
Yeah. And this one's at $2.90 now. It's got I would have to think that just to get a Ditko ROM page, somebody's going to pay pretty well for it, even without ROM on it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've been wanting because I want to get a Ditko page, and I've looked there's different stuff. Some of it's a little more affordable than others, but I definitely would like to get a ROM page if I was going to get something by.
Like in my mind, this is almost if you said like, okay, would you buy an FF page that just had Doctor Doom on it and not the FF? A lot of people would be like, hell yeah, I would.
Oh heck yeah! So here you get the main villains for ROM, and you get Ditko pencils on it. So yeah, pretty cool. Did they appear in ROM first? I don't know. Yeah, I think they were in ROM first.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and ROM, Mr. Danny says it's still an amazing. All right. See, I knew it. All right. So then next, there's actually 3 or 4 of these Al Williamson Secret Agent Corgans in there, but I like this one a lot. I mean, it's back to I always go back to the teachings of Rubin when he talked about the triangles. It's just funny when you look at this. It literally is triangles for everywhere you look, kind of leading you from one side of the page to the other. And
great contrast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clicking to fill the screen, but and the other ones are kind of nice too. But this one just kind of hit all the right spots as far as I was concerned. So
Al Williamson is just a man.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. But yeah, take on it, man. Looking at it, it's perfection as far as a strip. Oh, yeah, I don't know, Marcus. Let's see. I did pick. Okay, Peter was like, please, we don't want any war. This is kind of war, but not really. It's got Punisher
Punisher's War.
Yes, exactly. So this is Joe Kubert and Punisher Warzone 36. Page 1 from it, so it doesn't have all of the credits on it. So probably pages 2 and 3 had all of that, but nice page. And anytime you can get Kubert doing Punisher and you get him on the page
with a spit curl. Yeah, it's epic.
Very happy, and that's from what was it, 95? Peter's like, yeah, show all the Punisher you want. Okay. Next up, I figure, everybody's looking for Silvestri. Sorry, it's not X-Men or anything like that. This was a Silvestri Scott Williams Cyberforce piece. And, it's obviously Silvestri. And for those of you who are fans, there's at least a page out there. It's the only one in the Heritage Weekly that you can purchase. So, yeah.
There aren't many from the run with Williams on him either.
Oh, really?
It's not a long collaboration.
Okay. Well, another reason why to potentially pick this one up. Next up, Tom Rainey. This was a District X cover, issue 10. I actually just Hannah's inks on this are really nice. I mean, you can tell it's Rainey, but then I just love where they the cross hatching and then just a lot of white space in this thing. It just works really well. I really like this image a lot.
One thing I would say about Scott Hanna is he does not mess with the pencils, right? Like he is there to serve the penciler, I think, for the most part. And this reads clearly as Rainey.
Without question, yeah. So this is a cool one. It's only $56. It's from clearly I don't even read District X. I don't know anything about it, but so it's probably not going to be like the super desirable piece, but this is a really nice.
Well, if you love Bishop.
That's true. And there are a number of Bishop fans out there.
Bishop fans.
Let's see, 2 more. This one was just more of Ryan Benjamin. He's actually in the clip that Bob did from the Tokyo Comic Art Con. So saw his name pop up, and this is from Batman Beyond issue 1. I just like the composition. The 2 characters are basically opposite. I mean, as far as their poses, but I like how it's framed. I love that the panel that's between the 2 of them is just very abstract in terms of the stairways that he's running up. I don't know. There's just something about the layout on this one that was very appealing.
It's all movement too, like he's reacting, and then in the second panel he's running, and third panel he's going upstairs, fourth panel he's running, but he's showing that he's running one way and then he's running the other. That's good storytelling.
Definitely. So another affordable page that's out there. I think I actually must have picked 11 this time. I don't know. Let's see. What do we got? This was a Bisley heavy metal piece. let's see. Let's go into it. So it's from what was it? I don't even know what the issue is. Some War Machine story, but just clean. You know, I mean, sometimes Bisley stuff is just really kind of messy. And I'll be honest, I'm not really a Bisley fan. I hate to say it, but this piece, I really liked it. I mean, it's clean, it's concise. He seems like he's really focused on the all the details in here, and he wants to get it tight. It's fantastic.
Is this really early?
Let's see. There is not a date in the URL. Let me see. 93.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
pretty early.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, I feel like I should throw some bids on it because I won't see a Bisley page that I want to buy. I want to buy this one. This is a really nice page.
He was tighter earlier.
Well, you can't watch from here. All right. Well, I'll definitely add it to my list. It has a taupey vibe. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of European cartoonists and illustrators at this period were probably looking a lot at taupey.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, this is a good one. I'm going to throw some bids on that one. And then the last piece I picked was just, Mr. Perlin passing. And I think this is the only Don Perlin piece in the weekly Heritage auction. But, you get Frankenstein. It's in a Giant-Sized Werewolf 2 book. And who was the inks on this one? Oh, Coletta. So,
great title.
Prisoners of Flesh.
Where's Marcus? 3, 2, 1.
Yes, exactly. Jason, he's such an enabler. He's screaming by the Bisley bill. I'm going to put some bids on it, I promise. Dan says Lobo was out before 93.
Yeah, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things for Bisley, that's kind of early.
Mm-hmm.
First 5 years, essentially, where he was doing much of anything.
See, I missed, I stopped buying comics at like 89. So that's probably right around that time when he was. I know. I missed out.
My peak was your nadir.
Exactly. There's still time, man. I'm 56. I think I've got time to go back and read a lot of comics from 89 to about 97.
You can fill in.
A lot. But so there you go. There's a Perlin piece for Mr. Perlin. Carl, I'm not good. Oh boy, yeah. Oh yeah, the VHS stop somewhere.
I think that starred Bill Lash.
Oh man. All right. Well, let me get this video file queued up here for EXP. I've got to, like I say, it's a little auto. I got to do this. So give me a second. But here it is. What did Rom have to admit today? That I never read a comic with Psylocke in it. There was, see, I never read one that off the shelf with Psylocke in it.
Not even the Betsy Braddock one?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Huh.
I missed it. I was like, who is this character when I came back to comics?
Wow.
But hey, I made up for it. At least on the X titles, I have gone back and I read all that. So I'm up to speed, except when it came to Excalibur. All right, so let's see. I forget how this thing works, but I think if I pull this thing up, so the EXP tomorrow night, 7:00. You know how to, it's on the EXP channel. Nick's got art for sale. It's lots of fun. You can see it on all sorts of different channels here. But let's see if I add this thing up.
Everybody, this Friday, March 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Original Art Experience. We are doing something different at the experience. We're going to have a high-end long weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we don't have a Sunday show, so I don't know why we're calling it the long weekend, but that's what I was told by Kyle. We have mostly high-end, cool collectibles. Some people have comics. I've got art. So let's start with Nick Bradshaw, Ash versus Reanimator, #1 cover. I think this is my only Nick Bradshaw. What am I doing putting this on the air? Then we have World's Finest by George Perez and Scott Koblish. This has got Supergirl and Huntress. Really great George Perez page. I will probably regret it if that sells. Then we have this Bob Larkin, Portraits of the Marvel Universe. And I think this was also a trading card with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It is freaking fantastic. This will be on the air, by the way. It's my only Bob Larkin. Then I have this J. Lee Vampirella for an upcoming special issue that's written and drawn by Mirka Andolfo, Steve Orlando, Tim Seeley, and so much more. Then we've got this Thundercats J. Lee issue 5 where the story is about Chitara. So we'll have that. Then we'll have Jim Starlin Stormwatch cover. God, it's Apollo, I think, versus Lobo. Then this is my only Paul Renaud. This is from Red Sonja Vacant Shell. Can't believe I'm putting that on the air. And I wasn't ever going to put this on the air, but then I realized I need to have a high. How can I have a high-end show and not have John Romita Jr.? And this is the one that well, it's one of the higher end high ends, and it's one of my favorites. But you got Elektra's Daredevil, you got Weapon H, you've got Deathlock, you've got Anti-Venom, you've got Conan the Barbarian, and you've got Cloak and Dagger. God, kind of hope that doesn't sell. What do you mean, kind of? I hope it doesn't sell. But anyway, putting it on the air, you run that risk. And then we have Mariano Nicieza, Joe Del Beato. Maybe I should say Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza, since Joe comes first. So, all right. So, this Friday, March 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on the Original Art Experience. I don't know if I'm going to have any other art. It may just be this. We'll see. It's running late. It's after 8 o'clock. Amy wants to go home, so I should shut up. So hit that thumbs up and share. Sharing is caring. See you Friday.
There you have it. Let's see if I can figure out how to remove this thing from the screen. There we go. All right. So there you go. Nick, tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Let's go talk about the C.A.F update now, shall we?
All right.
All right. What do we got here? C.A.F update wise, I'm not even sure. Where was that tab? I think we have. Oh, and I saw somebody had asked what was the $50,000 cover. I mean, I won't mention the seller, but maybe
myself.
Yeah, it was a Amazing Spider-Man 386 cover by Bagley and Emberlin. So I won't mention the seller, but yeah, it was retailed at 50. So that was cool to see.
Wow.
I don't think we've had that big a sale happen, 3 to 4 days after the show before. But that just shows you, right? It's all about negotiating. Maybe there was some trade thrown in, and they had to kind of hammer through it to get the piece sold. But
it also means I definitely do not understand the Mark Bagley market.
Well, I
just don't.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like his Spidey a bit. I mean, that was I can tell you it had a bit, big eye Spidey. I like Bagley would draw him, but it's a good image. I mean, who was the villain on that one? Let's see. Oh, the Vulture. Yeah, it's pretty decent. I won't share the screen, but at any rate, yeah, 50 was the sold price listed on it. So,
all right,
nice. All right, C.A.F update. This covers what was it, the 6th through the 12th. So it's funny. Yeah, I guess Comic Art Live probably affected everybody's sales a little bit that week, except for Felix, right? Because he had a big art drop. He had the Daniel Warren Johnson complete book sell, and he had some Trad Moore sales that trickled in as well. Let's just say Felix had 126,000 in sales that week. Anthony was next, 55,000. Panel Page had 35. Romita had just over 30. Albert 16. Tatiana 11. Will had just under 8. And total sales were 296,000, down from 457 the week before. But around 300,000 is about average when we're having average weeks around here. So that's not too bad. Let's see. So top 6 sales from dealers last week. Let's see what we got here. Of course. So first up is the Transformers issue 6 complete book, selling for $70,000 by Felix.
Whew.
Yep. Daniel Warren Johnson.
Go Daniel.
He's got his kids' college funds all wrapped up here, man. And look at that. Great stuff. Really great stuff. Well earned, deserved, all that.
Yep.
Then we have, this was from Glenn. Panel Page Art sold this one. John Romita Sr. FF 103 Splash. Asking price on this one was $35. Then this one was from Berkey. $22,000 asking price. John Romita Jr. Scott Hanna. Amazing Spider-Man 920 cover. I feel like Nick might have sold this one sometime in the past. Could be wrong. And then we have three. Yeah, we have three Trad Moore pieces in a row. So this is from Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise issue 2. Cover $20,000. Then we have same issue DPS pages 24 and 25, $15,000 on this one. I remember there were a lot of people interested in this piece. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then this one was page 23 from the same book, and it sold for $8,000. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so good week for Felix, and I know he had another small art drop today, so he continues to be one of the top sellers around here.
Yeah, some nice Transformers stuff today.
Yes, he did. I mean, and he sells. He's like one of the only dealers that or reps that works with his guys to actually get like graded comics and things like that out there too. I mean, I know that he sold them as sets, and I think I don't know what his exact sales were. I kind of looked at the market data a little bit, but I know he sold a fair number of comics. Which hey, that's cool. I don't think a lot of the other reps do that, at least that I'm aware of. So Nick did sell it and he didn't buy it back. All right. Let's see here. So we have the auction results. Pretty stable. 297,000 last week compared to 275 the week before. eBay was 142 of that. Heritage was 154. And so we'll show you the top 3 eBay, then the top 3 Heritage here. So first up, we're going to have this Ed McGuinness Hulk 13 cover. This one went for $10,000. And nobody draws Hulk quite like McGuinness, right?
Man.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Is he like levitating the Hulk there? That's weird. Then we have a Rob Liefeld What If number 7 page from 1989, sold for $4,697.
Wow, Liefeld Hydra.
That's a pretty nice page. I didn't even look at the scan when I saved it. Let's see, what do we got here? Stephen Hughes Lady Death Evil Ernie cover. This one's marked at $4,400. Then we are over to Heritage now. Carmen Infantino, Terry Austin, Star Wars 12 page went for $7,200. Get some Luke, R2, C3PO. Then the X Factor issue 60 DPS, and this is from Bogdanov and Al Milgram. Everybody likes team shot in the in the Jets here.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we got this one. This was posted to C.A.F. this week already too. John Romita Sr. Spider-Man versus Green Goblin prelim sold for $4,080. John Romita Sr. prelim, of course, very nice.
Yeah.
And that wasn't it the one that Alex Ross?
Yeah.
Did
homaged.
Yeah, did the homage as well. Yeah. Yep. All right, cool. So there you have it. Sales last week just kind of average. I think when combined, it's always weird when I get the Colin pulls the market data report together, and you're under 600,000. You always expect this. I always think it should always be over 6, and it's weird when it's like 580. But it is what it is. Marcus says he saw it on Comic Art Live. Okay, I don't know. I didn't look close enough for Comic Art Live, I guess, this weekend. Let's see. Alex actually painted over John's full pencils for a Dynamic Forces litho. So that's what it was. So this was a prelim to John doing a finished pencil piece, and it was painted over. That is cool. I'm a little surprised. You would have thought that like Alex would have been painting on a blue line or something like that. Sweet.
So it's kind of pulling double duty then too.
Nick, you've put a lot of nice art out in the world through Dynamic Forces and Dynamite. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, there you go. C.A.F. update stuff kind of out of the way, so we can start talking about some artwork here.
All right.
Let me
I said this in the chat, Bill, but I've been drinking since 5 on the nuts, so bear with me.
Oh no. All right.
I might have some hot takes. I won't. It's going to be the same stuff I always say.
Exactly. That's all right. But what do we got now? Whose collection was this? Just love illustration, 4-year member of C.A.F. from Spain, and so that makes sense. This is a San Julian piece.
Yeah. And what a San Julian piece it is. Does it get bigger? It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Struzen vibes to it, right? Like every time you see something like this, you think like it's a movie poster style image, but like I love that, like the dark central figure. I mean, this is such a great movie in the first place, but then he's basically got, all the key highlights from the movie, all the great characters, like it's all packed into one image. And this is like, if this wasn't a, VHS box cover, like that's a crying shame.
No, I agree. I actually put this on my watch list on Max.com when I was on there last night. It's one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen it in like 8 years, so man, I feel like I'm due. Yeah, I got to see this one, and I want to see it before the Furiosa movie comes out later this month or next month or whenever the heck it is. I know it's close.
I bet one of my brothers. One of my brothers probably, between the two of them, one of them probably texts me, "Leave the gas," like once a week. Leave the gas.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is such an awesome movie. Yeah, and I agree. I like St. Julian stuff. I mean, and like you said, this has a Struzen vibe to it. Definitely should be used in some manner, or should have been used. But yeah, I like it. Good pick, and love illustration. I don't feel like I've ever been in Love Illustration's C.A.F.
I know I had not.
I'm checking it out after we're all done here.
Cool.
Next up, Sean Crowell. I've been in Sean's C.A.F. gallery before. So this is a Dustin Weaver X-Force cover from 2020.
I'm a huge Dustin Weaver fan. I don't think I've been shy about that. But
yeah,
this kind of reminds me a little bit of those, like, when Quietly was on the X book and he was doing these like kind of simple, like one character compositions, and it was very like, looked like a highlight. But I think the reason I picked this is, and you kind of touched on this in the heritage picks, but Ruben with his triangles, right? Look at how many X's there are in this. Like her body is forming an X. She's got an X on her belt. Like her body's forming an X with like the top of her shirt, right? Her legs and then the shirt. She's got the X on Cerebro. There's X's in the background. Like this is just a great, like repetitive composition.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the published comic when I was at my local comic shop, but no, I agree. It's very nice, and I know you are a fan. And it's kind of nice. I think even the cross hatching is well done on this. The lighting's nice.
Yeah,
I like it. I probably would have, if I would have seen this for sale, I probably would have thought about picking it up myself.
Well, I think everybody needs a Dustin Weaver.
Yeah,
Marcus.
Come on, Marcus.
Look at all the X's. Squint your eyes, Marcus. You'll see X's everywhere.
Marcus, yeah, exactly. Just squint, Marcus. You know how to do this. Come on.
It's like one of those magic eye pieces. He's just trying to get me to say something untoward because I've had a few drinks.
Exactly. Let's see here. Now I know you like DeMeo, and whose collection is this though? BY. So this thing is, yeah, it's everything you'd want in a great DeMeo, and
right?
It's the composition is fantastic. I love how he's just like crammed the the characters together and then thrown in the 2 headshots on it as well. I mean,
that's exactly what I love about this. You get them unmasked, and you get the like quote unquote civilian take on both characters, and it makes for a really cool composition. And there's something about the way that DeMeo draws Batman. He's a little bit like feral looking in a way. He's normally got a little stubble, and like he just looks rough, but at the same time, like Simone's art style is so smooth and so polished that it's kind of a cool juxtaposition of like how he views the character versus how like he illustrates him.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, look at it. He's got the nose furl and everything there. I mean, that's yeah. DeMeo's just his attention to detail is crazy, and then just the whole sponge technique on how he's handled doing the blacks here. I mean, he's just crazy. I love his
Tremendous. Look at
stuff.
how vertical that is.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, it's very, very nice. I'm very curious to see how his mystery sketch upgrade turns out. So, but yes, very, very cool piece. And yeah, there you go. Got my like on it. Only 2 comments so far. What's wrong?
Wow.
Come on. How long has this been on
Are we
CAF?
falling off, community?
Well, it was it was added during the height of of Comic Art Live. So it was added on Saturday, everybody. But
Everybody was shopping.
Come on, do a DeMeo and search and find it and add some comments, please. Then in Caesar's CAF gallery, Shemp is Caesar, by the way, or Caesar. Let's see here. This is a Keith Giffen, Scott Koblish, OMAC.
Shemp and I have very similar tastes. Like I can tell by the things he buys because every time I see him post something, I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Love Giffen. I loved this OMAC book. As far as like the new 52 titles were concerned, I was basically like OMAC and Frankenstein. Like that's where I focused, and Legion of Superheroes is really where I focused my energy. But this book was so consistently exciting and fun to me. Like every month when I would go pick it up, and that was largely because Giffen was just going all out on the art in this book. And he did his own like really unique take on like how the character should look. And yeah, exactly, CJ. It's got like crazy Kirby energy. And if anybody could like update the look and the feel of a Kirby character, like personally, I would want Giffen to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this thing is it's amazing. I didn't see this one on CAF, and I'm glad you picked it because yeah, I mean, just look at the energy lines there, just by breaking them up the way he has. I mean, that's incredible. Wow.
And those line weights are perfect.
Yeah. Wow. This is this is a great piece. Great addition.
I need a page from this book at some point. I've got to get an OMAC page at some point.
Wow. Well, I don't think Caesar's letting this one go.
I wouldn't.
Nick says he has a cover from the series. Congrats.
Good for you, Nick.
Man. Yeah, this is. I mean, and the more I'm looking, I really like it. That's a special piece.
Yeah.
Now this one, Marcus, the Thing.
I know.
Ron Wilson and Hilary Barta. I mean, I know you were forced. You couldn't not pick this piece.
Precisely.
I probably would if you didn't.
And I've said this like a bunch of times, and I'm not the biggest Ron Wilson fan, in spite of the impact and the run that he had on the Thing. Mm-hmm. But having said that, when he does it right, he really does it right. And that bottom panel is everything. Like the musculature, you can't even call it musculature, right? It's the Thing. So like the anatomy, I guess, as it were, of the Thing is like absolutely what I want to see in an image of the Thing. The head is perfect. He does the burn, like the head is perched on the body. There's no neck. Like, right. So as a real, I don't know, a Thing purist or a guy who has a very particular take on how he wants the character to look, that bottom panel is just, he nailed it.
He did. He definitely did. Everybody is reminded of the whole thing.
No.
Right? I did not go back to look at the Thing cartoon. Everybody told me I shouldn't do it, so I did avoid it.
Don't.
Yeah, but no, but this
waking
was
nightmare.
Yeah. So Hilary Barta inks on here. Hilary did a lot of inking. Out there. So and that's zip on him, right?
Sure looks like it. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah,
that's Marcus. Yeah, that's Zipatone.
Yeah, that's.
And by the looks of it, it's a marker.
Yeah, somehow it looks.
It's toned.
It's just they've done something.
Like the tones are toned.
Right, like you can see. Right, what did he do there? Yeah, that's interesting. I can't imagine
Look
that.
at that
That's like.
facial expression.
I know, man. This should be a
Man.
T-shirt. Talk
Yeah.
about T-shirts, Marcus. Right there.
Oh, he says
Oh,
it's
Marcus
the age
says-
of the zip. Ah,
Yeah.
I've never seen it age orange. That's almost fortuitous,
That's so true.
right? Eventually, is it going to be colored?
Right. One day it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen that before either. That's why I thought maybe it was somehow the adhesive or something might be changing color. But either way, still, yeah, it just makes the piece even better.
Killer page, Marcus.
Yeah, congrats, Marcus. Really fantastic. When I saw this one too, I would have picked this one if you didn't. So that's a good one. James Stocco, and this is in Brian Clark's C.A.F gallery. I'm gonna say it. Ooh la la! This thing is freaking amazing. Look at this.
I know, and I just picked Stocco like 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't not pick this.
I mean, I looked at this thing for like 5 minutes today when I was pulling up the list and getting stuff together. I mean, it's crazy all the amount of detail in here, just in the characters alone. But then just stuff like that slice of pizza flying through the air. All the
what do you even say?
It is. I'm not a big Ninja Turtle fan, but I'm
not either.
It's fantastic.
And look at
makes
that
me want to
mass.
Yeah.
Look at the mass of the weight of the piece is like perfectly done, right? And he's going like deeper, darker, more detailed as you go down, and like it just makes the whole composition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing is amazing. I could look at this a long time.
I would own this, and I do not care about Ninja Turtles.
There you have it. I mean, that's when art is that powerful. You'll buy something that's totally out of your sweet spot in terms of characters.
Right.
I agree. I would own this one too. But I was going to say, I finally got to pay for my Wisniewski piece, so I should. Well, you know what? I'm going to be gone. It'll probably arrive when I'm in Ohio, but there will be an
good hands
of the Cyclops that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Dan T in the chat for hooking me up with that. But this Stocco's freaking amazing. And Brian, you are one lucky man.
Amen.
That's totally mackerel. Then over to Bo Roberts. This is a Lionel Yu Edgar Taddeo Wolverine piece.
Mm-hmm.
I also was going to use this image for the show graphic. I liked it a lot, and I ended up going with the Wayshack. But this was the number 2 choice. I really like this piece.
This is this is early Lanil, and I think this is kind of he made a big splash on Wolverine, definitely. And I think the reason I picked this is because it kind of like took me back to that era. Like he was really exciting at the time. Like everybody was really fired up about Lanil. And I certainly was as well. I'm not a Wolverine fan, although I'm definitely not a Wolverine fan. Like when I see an image like this of Wolverine, I'm like, yeah, I'm way into that. So this is like definitely a stylistic pick on my part, because Lanil's pretty much since this era has been a favorite of mine. And he kind of like evolved, like went away from this style at some point and got more graphic, got a little more simple, like so many people do. But it's cool to see this kind of stuff and think back to that time.
Very true. Yeah, I like it. I mean, Taddeo inks might have smoothed it out a little bit or something, but yeah, was looking at it again. I like it. I definitely could have used this as the show graphic, and I would have been happy.
It would have looked great too. I mean, it's a very it'll grab you from a thumbnail.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's I like this one a lot. Come on, Dan T's giving me a hard time in there. Cyclops is the worst, but Matt L is
excellent. What Dan T does.
Yeah, I want to buy that. Who owns the original drawing of me? That's what I want to know. That Dan did. That awful thing. It should definitely not be in like Marcus's hands. I know that.
In the public eye.
Exactly. It needs to be archived away and never seen again. Yeah, nice straight claws. Okay. Oh, Jason, you own it? No way. Well, we'll have to talk about how I get
Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah, I was gonna say
all right,
Marcus.
that makes sense. Doggone it, Marcus. All right. Well, now we have something by Nathan Burr, and this is in Seamus's gallery. And what's the medium on this? Oh, it's acrylic. Okay. So it looks like you could see some pencil in it too, but that's all acrylic. Very nice.
Yeah, I like how impressionistic this is almost. I mean, it, you know, obviously the wrinkles and the crags and stuff in Goblin's face lend itself to like those different little like touches of color and things like that. But that almost refusal to make this realistic, I think, is what makes it cool. It's leaning away from like the Alex Ross kind of like, you know, that school of thinking and really making this a you know, a more graphic piece, certainly, but while at the same time it's very this there's no question this is Green Goblin, right? Like this reads perfectly. And it's not realistic. It's just that the character has all these weird qualities about him that kind of let you do this and keep it like in the realm of a good illustration.
Yeah, I agree. I saw Kazra mention like Bianchi a little bit in the shapes. Yeah, because he likes to, but it works with the character here in this case. All these, the craggy face and just the furrowed brow.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very familiar with Nathan's work in general, but I love the use of yellow. You know, the use of yellow throughout this really just kind of ties it together really well. You know, just makes the eyes pop even more. So
well, it also kind of makes you think that like there's a pumpkin. He's holding a pumpkin bomb in his left hand. Right? His face is being lit by that. Yeah, it's really evocative. Like it makes you kind of like want to know more about what's going on in the image.
Exactly. Well, everybody sees a lot of different things in this one. Mixed media, but I don't like using.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think mixed media as digital at all. To me, mixed media typically, you know, just colored pencil, acrylic, watercolor, somebody
pencil,
just
ink,
right,
gouache,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never think photography for mixed media.
I don't either.
So
no.
Yeah. So there you go, Black Viper. You can put mixed media and it'll be okay. Anyway, I was curious what that was for. Blue tape, but we only got 2 comments on this one on C.A.F. too, everybody. So head on over to Seamus's C.A.F. gallery and throw some
up.
Exactly, and then well, it looks like a lot of comments on this one. Oh, Wayshak. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about this one.
Isn't this nuts?
It is. It is. And I picked my Wayshak and made it the cover, and you picked this one. Totally different images, but this thing's crazy. I mean, Wayshak. You know, he's just. I don't know, the last year of seeing his work, and he got the Marvel card art gig, and I mean, he's one of the artists I'm just really excited to see where they go in the next 4 or 5 years, because he was always super talented, but now he's getting to do work on some of the characters that we all really love, and he's getting commissioned by people, and this was a commission, so he's really getting to work on characters he might not ever get the chance to otherwise. So this thing's fantastic. I love it.
I somewhat frequently, I feel like, pick a Galactus image. I've always loved the look of Galactus. I love the scope, the scale of Galactus, right? It kind of like lets you do a lot of crazy things with like the image because of the size of the figure. But so often in those images, the surfer is like an afterthought, right? Or he's just like, I know I featured a piece a couple of weeks ago where he was literally just a little line and a shape. In the entire image was the surfer. This one, he's literally, in the front, he's in the foreground. And I think what I like the most about this whole thing is how alien the surfer looks. He almost looks like a gray alien to a point, like what he's done with his eye and like the shape of his head. But then he's got those massive mitts, and he's got like the power cosmic coming off of his hands. I just think this is overall are really cool and kind of like, I don't know, he's pushing the boundaries of what we think about with those 2 characters a little bit with how they look.
Well, I mean, I think he does that like all the time, right? And just as far as like, at least, changing our expectations. And that's why he's such a fun guy to kind of follow, because he does that a lot. He's like Wisniewski, right?
Wisniewski, sure.
Same, different completely different styles, but you have that same
subversion.
Yeah, exactly. If you were to commission him or knew he was working on something, you're going to have a level of anticipation, wondering how is he going to approach the characters. So
right.
I didn't even think about it, but the way you said, the way he's positioned the surfer here. So the surfer is really large. You're right. Most Galactus surfer commissions or pieces we're used to seeing are totally different scale wise. So yeah, this is cool. And again, I'm really happy that Wayshack is doing so darn well. It's Sam Keithy, yeah, kind of. It's
For
all
sure. Oh, I see
yeah.
that.
I mean, I know Wayshack and Sam Keith are friendly. I mean, they talk a fair amount. So of course, I'm sure Wayshack, probably has a little bit of Sam Keith in him for sure.
Yeah, I would say clear influence in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Even the stance of Surfer, and like I said, the size of his hands, like those are Sam Keith elements.
Sure, that's true. You can go back and look at some Ghost Rider MCP cover or something like that. Yep. No, see, super late posting this one, but it's from OAX. So this is Tariq, by the way, TAMD1. I didn't realize that, but it was an OAX pickup. Wow.
I would have seen this in person.
Doggone it. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it too. So this was one of the pre-cons. I think I remember Tariq getting one from him. Oh, wow, this is unbelievable. I wish I would have seen it. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed now. This is what's going to make OAX 2. I'm going to be thinking about that now. Like when I know that guys have a lot of pre-con stuff, just going up and talk to the artist and be like, before you give the art out, can you show me what
idea.
You did? Honestly,
good idea.
Yeah. Okay. I've got to put that on my list. I like that. But congrats, Tariq. This is fantastic.
It's killer.
Yeah, and it was the largest size available. Now I hate to tell you this one on this one, but this one is listed for sale, even though it's not a premium member.
Oh, I promise you it wasn't when I looked at it initially.
Okay, but is it for sale now? Yeah. See, it says for sale $1,500. But the thing was, I was like, this is too nice not to talk about it, even though they've switched it, because it really is a great piece. And I know, yeah. Here, let me look at that. So we Chris and I apologize that we're showing a piece of art for sale. We normally would not do that, but man, this thing is. I mean, the range of colors and is just crazy. That's used in it. I mean, we're going from these greens and blues to purples to oranges to reds to magenta. And the yellows on top. I mean, it's almost overkill, but it just works so well. I love it.
I also I think the thing I like the most about Tokini is he's so expressive in composition and in his layouts, his coloration, like his palette, but he so frequently picks an element where he really dials in and gets detailed. And like when you look at the face on Battle Angel here, like it's almost like photorealistic to a point, you can almost envision that being like an actress's face. And then when you ray out from the face, it gets like wilder and wilder and looser and faster. And I just think that makes for such a cool image overall.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's fantastic. And Collective Minds, we just don't typically show art for sale because that's like us promoting the sale
and
art. And so we try to
swear it wasn't for sale when I looked at it on Monday. But
yeah. Now watch, I'm going to have one in my list and I didn't notice it. But that's all. It's not that we have anything against it. And in fact, a lot of times the art that's for sale is stuff we'd love to talk about, but we
how much is it? Maybe I'll buy it.
Like Marcus said, now they can raise the price.
I have a Tokini right there, and I don't need another one, but this is a beauty.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, it is fantastic, and I'm not familiar with this collector at all. 3-year C.A.F member, Emmeline Pereira. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, and doesn't list the country they're from, but either way, it is a beautiful piece, and it is for sale. So there you go. Are you sponsored, Bill? You have to tell us. I'm not sponsored by ZK yet. I tried.
Is Brazil? Because I think Emmeline Pejeda is.
I don't know. I remember Antoine actually gave me a link to a Zevia page where they would, if you needed stuff sponsored or that they could support something, and I never emailed them. I did email them directly to their marketing department and never got a reply, but I never followed through this really good link that Antoine gave me. Maybe I should try, just to say that I
Go
tried
for
it
it.
and we can rule it out.
If I
All
could
right.
get High Life to sponsor me on this podcast, I would.
All right, I'm going to give it a shot. I will. All right, here. Let's see. Get my screen queued up here. Got this. Got that. Over to here. So I'm going to get my Waycheck out of the way early. Let me resize my screen.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, and this was, it was cool reading because this is in John's C.A.F gallery, of course, and it's not for sale. As far as I know, I saw his social posts on this stuff as well. He was just he was saying how he was a Transformers kid, of all the stuff, the cartoons, the books he was into when he was growing up. Transformers was his jam, right? And so for him, just the opportunity to draw this was just a thrill for him. And I think that's awesome. Again, a guy who's breaking into his own, getting noticed, and then he's actually getting to do the cover to something that he really loves. And I just think that's great. It's the achievements in the business are really great to see, and especially a guy who's I've known about him for over for quite a while, because he's had a C.A.F gallery for quite a while, but. Yeah, I just love it. I mean, and we can look back at the kind of the same things that were happening in the Galactus surfer piece. He just throws it's edge to edge, tons of detail. I saw some of his pieces at OAX in person, which I'd never had seen any before OAX. All that splatter. I mean, everything looks like he just puts a lot of energy and time into all of his work. Even the little color card art pieces that he had, I thought were just. He just worked them to death, but it still came out beautiful. And,
well, what's so interesting about this to me is that, so we just looked at Surfer and Galactus, right? And when you look at this by comparison, this feels tonally different, but a lot of the same techniques are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Surfer Galactus piece was more organic, a little wilder, and maybe it's Tariq's basically saying what I'm trying to say right now in a slightly more inebriated fashion. This is more dialed in, and I feel like it's more dialed in because of the subject matter. You're drawing robots, right? But when you look at the background, it's still a little wild, a little crazy, but it's more straight lines. It's more, it's more hatching. It's not as much splatter. It's not as much different effects basically, but you can still, it's the same guy, it's the same artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love this, and I hope he holds on to it, because he's got a detail published, full artwork. Yeah, this guy's going places. I already put the like on it. See, I knew he'd been on C.A.F for a while, so he's been on for 14 years. I was going to say a dozen, and then I didn't want to be wrong. But yeah, this is great. So congrats, Jonathan, on a dream project with that one.
And we love to hate Shockwave.
Yes, we do. So then this is in James C.A.F gallery, and this was just more, I wouldn't say it was nostalgic, but it's Paul Ryan, and I have yet to own a piece of artwork by Paul Ryan, and at some point I have to correct that, because his stuff is just so clean. To me, his style is just kind of unmistakable in the way he handled the anatomy on characters, and he just did a lot of stories some that I didn't read when they came out, but I read after, and I just great period stuff that he was a part of, and James always has a good eye for Marvel DPSs and other things, but I just want to show this one because when I see something like this, it makes me it reminds me that I need to get something by Paul Ryan. I think everybody should have something in their collection by Paul Ryan, and yeah, there's not enough Paul Ryan art out there as far as I'm concerned. I mean, and I know he was pretty prolific while he worked.
He was, yeah. Danny Bullinati killing it here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reed's vest needs more pockets. That was the era, man.
It was. This is such a
got him on his tips and everything. But anyway, yeah, look at that. I like it a lot, and yeah, it's just going to make me go back and look for some artwork by Paul. But again, either way, congrats to James for this one. I don't think I did get my like on there. All right, so 29 comments. Holy smokes!
That's
Everybody
James.
likes this one. Is it
we
James?
all like James. That's what it is. We all like James.
James replying. I'll tell you when we now see it. Okay, we haven't seen one from James, but everybody does love James. One of the things that we're going to do in the app, or at least I'm going to try to do in the app because we haven't implemented it yet, is that kind of like if you use the Facebook app when it kind of nests the reply underneath piece it was from versus how we just put it in a row. It's all by date.
Yep.
So we're actually going to try in the app to put the comments with the the reply with the comment that it came from, and visually make it work well.
That would be nice. I get a lot of.
I haven't told the app guy that yet, but but I did mention it to Maureen. I'm like, we need to rewrite the code a little bit so we can try that because like I've been telling everybody, the app's going to influence what we do on the site. So we very well, if it looks right on the app, when we rework the design on the front end, we might just do it there too because it does make more sense. I mean, so anyways, I'm a little off tangent there, but it's something I look at every day while we're working on the app, and every time I see it, it's like it doesn't work like this. It has to work like Facebook or what we're used to.
Well, I like that. I get a lot of replies to comments, and Marcus definitely gets a lot of replies to comments. People like to comment back to Marcus's comments. I think that'd be a great feature.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Nesting is 21st century tech. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Danny. This was from Kazra's C.A.F gallery, and I always say I don't want to feature anything, and then I see something like this from Kazra's C.A.F gallery, and I mean the first, the first panel is just crazy. I mean, the only thing that would make it crazier is if it was a full page splash, and you got to see that thing go up even a little bit higher.
I didn't see this. Wow.
I mean,
wow.
Look at it. It's crazy. Daredevil Yellow, issue 5. Yeah, the first panel is just amazing. And then, you switch over to this, view, and it's just as a work of art, it's beautiful. I love it. But man, that first panel takes my breath away. I mean, the bricks, the lighting, small Daredevil. Yeah. I mean, doggone it.
And how perfectly but subtly highlighted is Daredevil.
Exactly.
You almost don't need him there. And then when you see him, you're like, oh, cool, there's Daredevil.
Yeah. And it is Tim Sale, yes. But yeah, this thing is it's nuts. And I really, it's the more I'm looking at it, I just see a lot more depth in it than I saw the first time I looked at it. Because obviously you get a building up in the front here. This one,
much depth.
And then and then there's this alleyway where you see another building further, a block away. Yeah. And then just
the way the building on the right is intruding in your view in the central building, man alive, that's good.
Yeah.
This is Kazra's?
Yeah.
Is it also accidentally for sale?
I don't think so. But yeah, like Carl just said, unreal. Yes.
It is.
I totally agree. That thing's amazing.
Beautiful.
I already added my like to it earlier. All right. So congrats, Kazra. Then this was Carl's, right? Yeah, Carl Choi, Adventures of Superman 510, Kitson. For me, I don't know. Come on, it's Bizarro, right? So when I love the fact that this is all the line work is just very I don't want to call it stark, but the cross hatching is just
stark. So it is word.
Stark. Okay, we'll go with stark. Because that's Bizarro at the end of the day, and having it be that this, and then, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words on this one. But the thing is, it's very much like an etching, and I love the fact that they could have gone really crazy with the line work on here, but I like the fact that they left a lot of the the whites in there, lots of space to allow for that, and this thing just works amazing.
It's got a lot of depth. I mean, you know, Bizarro's face, you want to like accentuate kind of like the ugliness, the cragginess, like that kind of stuff. And like those line weights and the sharpness of those lines works perfectly to do that. But there's also like there's a sense of like the different planes of his face that really accentuates.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus says that's sculpting. Yeah, kind of. And sharp lines. Did you put the color? I'm kind of curious how they colored it. All right. See, that looks awesome. I mean, the coloring is fine. I mean, you know, because they didn't really do a lot. They just added some blues in there to kind
And
of
look
give
where
it.
how they dialed it back on the Superman version, right?
Yeah.
He's not so craggy, so harsh, so or as you said, stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, well, shoot. Well, Carl, you did well, man. That is a good one. 12 comments on it. So that's fair. He could use a couple more, everybody. Let's see here. What do I got next? This one is a Gil Kane piece, right? And it's in Arnie Greaves' C.A.F gallery. Can't say I recall bopping into his C.A.F gallery before. 14-year member on the site. I just like this. You know, it's Gil Kane. You know, Gil Kane fingers here, crossing over panels. You know, I love the dynamic page layout. You know, just from this panel to there. You know, you've got a foot crossing over there. You got an elbow crossing over there. Just ties the whole storytelling together, and you just kind of work your way right through it perfectly.
Right.
And you know,
Murphy Anderson on inks, that's great. I
Yep.
love that it's villains fighting one another. That was always cool.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. I actually, when I saw this page, I thought of X-Men 109. You know, when Guardian disappears. You know, and I went back to look. I'm like, how close did Byrne do that? And it wasn't close to this at all. But you know, it made me, when I saw those images, I was like,
reminiscent of, yeah.
So so that, at least that one panel. But at any rate, Gil Kane. Because I'm not a big fan of Gil Kane. I hate to say it. I know you are.
That's all right.
But this page, I would buy this page because the inks are great, the composition's great. I
Since
really
we're just
like
saying things, I'm not a big fan of Dave Cockrum.
That's all right. So we can agree to disagree on both of those.
We
points.
can.
And, you know, but yeah, what is it? I like Bob Kane. All right, Marcus. Anyway, but yeah, this thing is beautiful. And I would be happy to have this in my collection if I could buy a piece like this.
It's a beauty.
So, yeah. Marcus, that's the beer talking. I had to pick this one. Even, you know, I'm not a big Sandman fan either, but this was in Chris Kay's C.A.F gallery. McManus pencils, Talbot inks. It's just beautiful. You know, I mean, when I look at it, you know, even these weird creatures in the first panel are just really well drawn. It's, you know, very kind of independent, you know, indie feel in terms of the line work in here, which makes it even more fun. It kind of works well with the characters, but everything about I love the lettering on this piece, and I really like this panel, and I love, you know, I don't know who the figure is at the end, but you know, just
it's a little Pete Craig Russell-ish.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely.
Line weights, yeah.
Well, so this is good. This is a really nice piece. And did Marcus get his comment in first? No, he didn't. Mikhail did.
Ooh, well, it's Sandman.
We know Mikhail loves Sandman. But Chris K, congrats on this one. Got 2 badges in his C.A.F gallery for best of. That's pretty nice.
Wow, that's cool.
And I think I picked 11 pieces. I am looking at my tabs here. Carlos Magno on this one. Was this just a commission? I think it was. Yeah, commission piece. Yeah. Let's see, on A2. I just, you know, we've featured Magno stuff before. I just thought this thing was just, I love the composition. I mean, look at that. I mean, the destruction behind him, the figure work is fantastic.
Yeah, his anatomy is so good.
Yeah, it is. And then, but then such, you know, like you can do with Venom, just crazy distortion in the face. I mean, that neck is just way too big, but it all just works. And I'd love to see like beginning to end like process for this piece, because
it's funny you say that, because many times if you commission him, he sends you in process photos.
Really?
So I would be willing to bet that the owner of this piece has a few, like, here's Spidey in pencils, here's like the whole piece in pencils, like, and then I dialed it in more. And then he also sends you pencils and inks. He inks them on separate boards.
Oh, even better then.
Yeah.
Well, here, let's see. There are some extra images. Did he do any? Oh, look. He's all right. There is a process. So
No, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. So that. Okay, so that was probably his digital rough, it looks like. I guess that's the finished piece. He just took a picture on his desk. But yeah, I mean, that's curious. He actually drew the arms and legs and torso and did the head and Spidey later. But yeah, it's just I'm curious his process. I mean, there's a lot of ink wash in here and a lot of cross hatching going on. I would just love to see his thought process on when when he does what part of it.
Yeah,
as he's blocking out the characters and
it's different for sure.
Well, this is very nice. All right, and wait, who's C.A.F? Tyler T.
Oh,
man, Tyler. Then this one I just picked. It's kind of back to the Paul Ryan thing. I guess maybe I've been thinking about this era of comics. I don't know, but I love the. And who was the artist on this? I didn't even check. Someone named Andrew Wildman.
Yep.
Yep, and Baskerville.
I do not remember Wildman.
No, I've seen Wildman before, but Baskerville I'm not familiar. But again, it's just I don't know. This is that era where I wasn't really reading the comics, but but I don't feel it's like that over the top image stuff. It's just more a different kind of storytelling. It feels to me it still has that vibe from like 80s stuff, like that I like from gaming artwork and whatnot. My Willingham or something. I could see this being something out of the Elementals, just the way the composition and the characters are, the characters handled in this. But nice. And I think I can say that I'm the first one to feature something by Wildman.
Definitely.
And this is Paul P's C.A.F. gallery. I don't think I looked at any of the art owners this time around. So congrats, Paul.
Rarely do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I also, it just happens, man. We're just looking for good art.
Yep.
All right, 3 more pieces to look at. Steve Mannion, another artist we don't talk.
I love this.
And I did too. I mean, I was just laughing when I saw this because at first when I saw it as a thumbnail, I did not think, Jonah Jameson.
I thought it was the Hulk.
I thought it was the Hulk too. I'm like, what is the Hulk doing yelling at Peter Parker and the thumbnail? And then I switched to it and it's just like, oh, this is just too fun. I didn't even notice the picture perfect written there at the bottom of it. Mannion's, I've known Steve since the Big Wow days. He is a good friend of Morgar's, and all around just a really nice guy. He's had to work hard to kind of be where he's at. He's had a lot of challenges in life, but I mean, his style is unmistakable. It doesn't matter what he's drawing. When you see his pencil work, it's him.
It's really singular stuff. I agree with you.
It is. I mean, and the man, he's just brilliant. I wish, he's somebody that I'd love to see have more success and get more accolades because he is so talented and he's still in the game. So, he still has time, but I've never bought anything or owned anything by him. But I should fix that. But the funny thing is, it's like, you don't see a lot of his stuff in the aftermarket. I think people buy stuff direct from him. And then you don't see too many people selling it.
Jason wants to know if you bought the Elementals page that was at auction.
The one
or at Comic Art Live, sorry.
Oh, no, I did not. I can tell you that the first piece of art that was bought was that Elementals splash page that was $1,500. So somebody, and I knew it was there, but I actually wasn't interested in it. I've like kind of decided if I'm going to get an interior page, I don't mind saying it. I want to get something from the first 4 issues. And that was a nice one. It was like from issue 12, but it really didn't have any main characters on it. But the person who got it, they got it within the first minute. So they saw that it was in their keyword alert, and that was the piece for them. And whether it shows up on C.A.F. again, so I won't say who got it because at the time I saw it, but it was just it was I saw that one. There were actually a couple other Elementals pages in there, but again, they just I'm limiting myself to first 4 issues now. Just one page. That's all I want, and I'll be a happy man again.
That's good. Have a scope.
Yeah. Goals. You got to have goals.
Yep. Otherwise, it's all fair game.
Yes. So what do we got? 2 more here. Strange Academy 8 cover. Jay Anacleto. We all love Jay's stuff. We featured it numerous times. I kind of picked this one because a lot of times we look at Jay's stuff and it's the pencil pieces only. That we and I think this is probably it's got to be a mix of pencil and ink, right? But
absolutely.
But
pencil that black in my life.
Right. No. So, but there's definitely, at least it looks like pencil, or I guess it could be some kind of could be wash. Yeah, it could be. Let's see. What does he say? He just says pencil. Really? That can't be pencil.
No way.
I don't believe it. I mean, I don't know. No, it's impossible. All right. Well, so I think we probably default to pencils. So people, I'll tell you, there was $61,000 of animation art that was sold in Comic Art Live, and animation was the default drop menu for Medium. There was not $61,000 of animation art in Comic Art Live this weekend. So I know every once in a while we skip a drop menu or two. I think that's what we got here. But anyways, it's Anacleto. Composition's fantastic. Character,
textures.
Right, the textures are there. I mean, this is really nice. And I have never read Strange Academy, so I don't know anything about it. But
well, you know who that is.
Yes. I always wanted to, but that's why I'm curious about it, because it seems like with the additional characters that are in it, it's got to be good. It's got to.
Wasn't Magic the Sorceress Supreme for a hot minute? I think that might have been in this title.
Then it might be. Antoine says you can buy really dark colored pencils.
If this is pencil, like I don't want to say what I'm going to say. It's not pencil. It isn't.
If it were, I have to see this piece in person. But
I have to see the pencil in person.
Yeah, the actual pencil used.
Does it say like number 2 Devil's Soul on it?
Yes. So this is in Myron Tay's C.A.F gallery. So congrats, Myron. I think this is fantastic. So the more I'm looking at it, I really do like the composition. It's so solid. I mean, it's busy, but boy, this is fantastic. Charcoal pencil, man. I don't know, 4H or yeah, exactly. All right, you guys, fun. Last but not least, we have there were a couple of Mike Perkins Batman First
nice
Night
ones too
that were up on C.A.F. And I forget why I kind of grabbed. Well, I know why. I think that I love the battle here. I love he's got him. He's in the last 4 panels, but he's gonna get shanked or something there. But I just love the rain. I love the because I was recently looking back at that Brian Hitch Batman's Grave stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of the battle pages there, and they're all really they're really good. They're interior stuff, and then I switch over to this, which is an outside shot, and it's Perkins, man. I mean, it's I don't know.
Different animal.
Exactly. I mean, different styles.
This isn't cinematic. This looks like personal.
Yeah. That's this color guide is pretty. I don't know. I love the shadows. Anyway, I love this piece. I really do. And it's like the more I see Perkins stuff, I mean, I got to get something by Perkins. I mean, yeah, he's pretty good.
He's terrific.
Doggone it. So Brian Hole, 6-year member of C.A.F. Let's see, 16.5 by 21. So a bit oversized as well.
Again.
Well, congrats to Brian on that one. You got a winner right there.
It's a beauty.
All right. Well, hey, we made it. We got through the pick. Who reps him? Gee, I don't know, Marcus. I think it's that guy Ruben, right? Ruben does.
He's a collector.
He's what was the abbreviation of his site? CBAG Comic. What was it?
Book Art Gallery.
Yes, thank you. I would always, whenever I had it, when Chris and I worked on his site, I'd always say CBAG needs this done. So I don't know, just I abbreviate everybody. I called Mark Hayes' website. I would say SPA needs something done. SPA. The SPA needs something done. I had abbreviations for everybody except for Albert. AM didn't work. So anyway, Billy poaching. I'm not poaching. I'm not repping anybody. That's not my gig. Anyway. But yes, I would like to add a Perkins to my collection someday. I mean, honestly, he's just amazing.
Same here. My brother's got one that's a doozy, and one of these days maybe he'll sell it to me.
You've asked, or you haven't asked yet?
I haven't asked. I'm working on getting a Pacheco FF page off of him first.
All right. Yeah. We got it. Yeah, let's get one, loosen him up, and then go after the Perkins.
There you go. Yep. The closer his kid gets to college, the more of these pages are going to become mine.
Yep, exactly. There's motivation down the road.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate it. 10 great picks as always. I'm glad you were able to hang out with me and go through this as we always do. Now, do we have any schedule stuff coming up that you've got?
Next week, I am celebrating my 30th anniversary with my company. So, yeah, you've got Jason D'Ambrosio is going to be doing picks next week. Sounds like from Bill's mom's house.
Yes, indeed. You'll get to, maybe mom will make a surprise visit, and you can all, yeah. I don't know. She probably wouldn't want to appear on camera, but
she's done it once before.
Oh, that's right. She did that when we were there. Gosh, I think it was when I was there last summer. That's true.
I remember it
live from Ohio. Yep. So I forgot about that. So yeah, Jason, you remember, Jason, you need to be looking at art right now, starting because your window is Monday through Sunday. So start picking out some pieces. Correct. So you're ready. All right. Well, I think we're done, Chris. We hang out in the green room though.
I will.
Got some stuff to talk about.
Yep.
But all right. So we'll see. We won't see you next week. Happy 30th anniversary at work.
Thank you.
Don't drink too much. And we'll see you 2 weeks from now.
Okay, Bill.
All right. See you, Chris. Oh man. All right, everybody. So just keep in mind, don't forget Saturday night, 9 p.m. I will be Eastern time. I will be hanging out with Jiggy and Mannix, and we will be doing that fundraiser. We'll probably look at a few of the mystery sketches as well. So I hope you guys can and gals can tune in for that show. Should be a lot of fun. Again, we I think anytime that we get to hang out with Mannix, it's a good time. And Jiggy's he's a nice addition for that. But I know that Jiggy has a fair amount of mystery sketches in hand. So hopefully we'll get to see a lot, and then he can drop those in the mail on Monday for me. Marcus wants Jason to have a drink before things. Anyway, I don't advise that, Jason. So Saturday night, next show, please tune into it. And then I think I'm off until I've got the Dr. Balls on Tuesday, and then the 150th episode of the Dueling Dealers on Wednesday. But Saturday's the next big one. So everybody have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with Chris and I and Mr. Layton and Joey. And you guys have a wonderful night. And I will see you again really soon, Saturday night at 9 o'clock.